What's happening, guys? PWT Podcast, Pro WrestleTalk Podcast. We are back. Phil here. Yeah, hairline here. Woo! We're back like Raquel. This is the AEW All-In mega episode. Guys, thanks for rocking with us. I'll do all the plugs super quick because we got a lot to get into here, hairline. Are you excited?
Are we only talking about AEW at this episode?
Gotta just always bring it down. Guys, check us out on YouTube.
Well, you asked me my opinion.
Pro WrestleTimes, and check us out our Clips channel at Pro Wrestle Clips. We're fucking growing, man. We're gonna hit 600. We want 1,000 by Christmas. You guys are making it happen. Thanks so much for liking, sharing. Our repeat listeners, our repeat commenters, and everyone. Make sure you check out the Discord. If you like to leave us comments and talk shit in the comments, check us out on Discord too. The link's in the description. Make sure you check out our Patreon. Shout out our patrons, Russ Paxson, Reggie Rodriguez, and Ashley V. Thank you guys so much. And you guys can become members on YouTube as well for 99 cents. You get the videos, everything we upload to the Clips channel early. And there's some other perks there too, some badges we made. But that all aside, guys, and we're at Pro WrestleTimes everywhere on social media, TikTok, PWT Podcast as well. And you guys have been blowing that up too. So thank you so much. Guys, let's get into AEW All In Wembley, London 2023 hairline. Are you excited for this? I already asked you, but now I want, because let me preface this question. Knowing that Fozzy and Jericho are on this card, are you excited? Are you ready to review All In?
That's cheap, Pops. What the hell?
Hey, well, I couldn't. Hey, man, I got to get some sort of pops out of you somehow for this show. Let's go.
You want to just skip to that?
Nah, bro. Nah, we got a lot to cover here. I'm gonna crack a beer. I'm gonna crack a beer. Yeah. And yeah. What?
We didn't even what? Yeah, damn it, dude.
It's the new what? Yeah, is the people are like, is yeah the new yes chant? No, it's not. Yeah is the new what chant. That's what it is, dude.
It's that huge.
Okay.
I'm trying so hard to talk about WWE.
Yeah. He'll do anything to hear it off. Okay, so guys, we're gonna break this down from the 0 hour through the whole show. We're going to get into the news, the drama. We're going to break down the press conference, all of that. So if you guys like, hit a like and a subscribe and all that. That's the last thing I'll say. Let's get into things here. The 0 hour hairline actually watched it because, well, Adam Cole and MJF were on it. So he had to watch it. He didn't really have a choice. And the show kicked off, of course, with that match. But before we get into that hairline, I just want your thoughts on when the arena, or pardon me, when the cameras first turned on and you saw the arena and you saw the white ropes and you saw the building was actually very full. Now, they did have large sections tarped off, which I misspoke on X, formerly known as Twitter. I was saying that that section got filled up. It actually didn't. There's pictures from the arena. They had huge sections tarped off. But they were smart. They filled the hard camera side and opposite hard camera side so that when they panned the arena, they could do it in a way where it was almost, they just treated behind the ring opposite of the stage as their hard camera side. That's all they really did, but then they shot it from the typical hard camera side so it looked like, yes, it was full. Now, that being said, we're going to get into the press conference and all the claims made by Tony Khan, etc. later, but I am not a doubter that they probably hit somewhere from 70 to 80K. I'm not one of these marks who, yes, if you're going to make it about the numbers, Dave Meltzer, then we'll make it about the numbers too, Dave Meltzer. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Tony Khan or the wrestlers or anybody for putting over, there's 80K there. Vince McMahon worked the numbers, 100 and what they worked the numbers there too. It's Carney Pro Wrestling. Yeah, we had 10,000. Actually, that's not that big compared to what we're talking about here, but I botched, but it's okay because I'm Vince
tell you now.
No, I didn't. I'll just rewrite that history. But yeah, so Tony Khan's rewriting his own history, pal. So that's what he's got to do.
Oh, that'd be real great.
Yeah,
you got Jerome on.
I put that entirely over. I have no problem with them working the numbers and shit. And it's all in the language Tony Khan uses. This many tickets distributed. You can't find anywhere that legitimately can prove that more tickets were bought. See, he's playing that lingo. Why? Because he's a fucking piece of shit carny promoter like the rest of them, and that's fine. I put him over for that. That's part of his genius. We'll get into Tony Khan later because he actually did get over with me with this whole thing a little bit. But
yeah, me too.
Hairline, your thoughts on just the building and like well into the show. It was clearly pretty fucking packed. And your thoughts on that and them working the numbers.
Well, first I want to start off with fucking Renee and Moxley good and Swingy Todd over here talking. I don't know, man. It's fucking. What is Kip Sabian supposed to be like?
I don't know. Like, he wore a box on his head for like a year. Return. They just stuck him with Butcher Blade and Bunny. He's still with Penelope Ford. I like that faction. I put it over before, but he has no direction.
Yeah, he looks like Swingy Todd, bro.
Right.
But yeah, man. So now your questions. The arena itself kind of reminded me of what a New Japan show mixed with WrestleMania was the vibes I was getting.
The white ropes.
Well, just the overall look of it. You know what I'm saying? Was very theatrical and just like larger than life. You know?
Right.
I don't mean I don't really give a shit about the color of the ropes. You know?
Right. So I'm a mark for the aesthetic.
All of it was appealing. Yeah. The aesthetic was nice. Yeah, it was appealing. You know, but it's not like white ropes, bro.
Well, some people were roasting it online, and that's why I asked your opinion, because my opinion on it was exactly. And my opinion on that was like, it's actually smart, though, if you want to break it down psychologically, like, okay, there's going to be more eyeballs on this than anything. And maybe some people go, oh, is this WWE? Like, I don't know. It's actually smart when you really want to, if you really want to break it down psychologically, but I would have went, personally, I'm a mark and I'm an aesthetics mark. Hairline knows this, so I would have went with like purple or something that's just uniquely, no one's done this before, but maybe that would have been a miss too. So I don't know. I liked it, looked visually appealing, and maybe that's because we love WWE, and that's sort of the vibe I got from. I was like, this could trick me into thinking it's WWE. Anyways, Hairline, sorry, you go ahead about the numbers and that.
Again, the numbers, it's I really don't give a shit. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm kind of happy for Tony. Fucking. Back here in the States, life ain't too good. So it's cool. He got one big fucking hoorah. And he's assuming I don't want to be negative, like, but assuming they're going to be around next year to do Wembley. I don't know, man. Obviously, like, I just kind of side tangenting, but like, Tony's all about fucking the viewerships and the key demos and all that shit. And they're killing it on that. So I don't know, man. I guess he will just fucking drain his father's fucking bank account to fucking keep this.
Do you think they turned a profit? Do you think they turned a profit on this show?
Well, they would have to, right? But
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm happy for him. I mean, I'll probably get into that more later, but I'm just happy for him because this was an achievement. And just like a lot of people say, the TV ratings, the key demos, what about attendance? I mean, this was a great attendance. Now, you can make the argument, well, it's in Europe, like, there's countries like Scotland that are so depraved of like wrestling,
right?
That will do, and like a whole country will show up. Now, that being said, I mean, you could make that same argument about SummerSlam or any highly attended venue. It's not like, an entire city, every resident showed up. Yeah, it's obviously even WWE WrestleMania. Well, people fly in from all over the world. It was the same thing here. I wrote, okay, they're using the song Machine Head Bush, this from Oakland, for this all-in Wembley event. And the song doesn't really fit. And out of all the legendary UK rock bands, you choose a song. You have Elton John every Saturday, but you couldn't have picked like a different, you can have had Queen or something be the theme of this. That's the thing.
Like Bush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if it was
breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
I was like, dude, what is this? A fucking skateboarding movie from fucking dude, my whole thing is this, right? Like when WWE does like a WrestleMania, I can distinctly remember like if you sang like "Welcome to my house," play that me. I'm like 2015 fucking Flow Rider. Yeah, if you put on like fucking breathe in, now breathe out, hands up, that hands down, back up, back. Tell me what you like that era. Fucking that's like WrestleMania 18 era. That's like WrestleMania 18. Yeah, I think they use Limp Bizkit. You know, I could tell you, I could associate it. It was like they had no build in like that. Those are the little things they got to start doing, but I'm not going to shit on them. Yeah. So, anyways, and then Mercedes Moné was shown in the crowd.
Yeah, you know, it'd be nice. What if we use that push song? I really like that push song. No, but like, dude, you're completely right, though, man. It's like fucking. I didn't even think about like the little things like that, like fucking. I pop hard for like I don't like Flow Rider, but I love Flow Rider because I love WWE. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't bump Flow Rider, but if that song came on, it's like I'm marking out because like, they just fucking throw it in your head.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, man, yeah, holy shit, yeah. Someone needs to fucking say that to Tony, bro.
Yeah, dude, he's got to listen to the pod. I think he is. Because he started the press conference with, it's great. Isn't it great? Anyways, though, moving along, Hairline, what did you think of like Big Show and the panel? You talked a little bit about Sweeney Todd and Renee Paquette, but what did you make of like Big Show on there and Anthony Ogogo, Olympic boxer?
Anthony Ogogo was trash, and Big Show and Renee basically carried that entire fucking thing, man. And Big Show really like, I know he was very sports entertainer, you know what I'm saying? And just fucking the other guys were Swingy Todd and Anthony Ogogo were just really green and like, I don't know. Anthony was trying, but like he was just saying nothing, you know?
Right.
I don't know, man. And like, but again, and the same with Renee. Renee is sports entertainment, so you know, like they just like that's why it's like that. Their conversations were popping shit, you know.
Right. So Hairline, they also showed Mercedes Moné in the crowd. She got big pops. They showed her multiple times throughout the night. Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. And apparently when she's done being injured, she is going to do some appearances for AEW, but not be full time. And apparently she's going to feud with Saraya, which is essentially stooged by fucking Toni and Saraya at the press conference. We'll get into that. Yeah, big shocker. Yeah, it's the right call, though. She should be on TV in America. And Stardom's been getting a bit of heat lately from the Joshis. So I don't fucking know. More on that. Maybe we'll talk.
Is that where Sasha is?
Yeah, I think she's in Stardom or New Japan. She was in the New Japan women's title picture. I don't know. So let's get into the matches here. MJF and Adam Cole took on Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. I'll read my notes and then I'll just sort of give my off the top thoughts. So I'll start with the latter. MJF and Adam Cole. I don't know. Well, it's in my notes actually. So why don't I just read my notes? So I just wrote, it's so stupid to have these two on this early. Yes, I'm one of those marks who thinks that. The angle after the match where they look at the belts and the super kick catch, etc., their title win, this title win, all of that stuff just should have happened on the Dynamite before, leading up to this show. This little match here where they beat Aussie Open, it could have just happened on Dynamite the week before. Later on in the press conference, MJF says, you know, the marks who say, oh, ruin their pop. I never said, I don't care. I'm not talking about pop. You know me. I go off on you fucking marks and your pops, you know, popping for yourselves. My whole thing is this. It's just, it just felt like, why couldn't this have happened on Collision the night before or to try and boost a rating on that show? Or it could have happened on Dynamite. That's all. I just feel like they could have taken one extra week to build this thing and they could have just had this happen before. I really don't get why this and especially with everyone complaining about all the wrestlers who weren't on the show. I mean, you're at Wembley. The Hardys couldn't have been on it in some way. They don't have to go through tables, but they couldn't have just anything, you know, like I don't know. You could have had a battle royal even, like get these guys, like there's all these girls everyone's complaining about who weren't on the card. They had one women's match as well. Everyone likes to cry about WWE. They had one women's match, and it was just...
The women are trash. Women are trash. What are you mad about?
Right. That aside, I'm not saying it should be the women. What I'm saying is...
I don't mean you.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, I'm just in my own defense, right? To someone who would counter what I'm saying with what you said. I would just say to that, you know, I'm not even personally picketing for that. What I'm saying is there was a big singles match that could have been on this card. There was three singles matches, sorry, and they were like the most over matches with me the whole night. So anyways, though, not to dissect all this, but you can break down the match. Give me your thoughts on this match. But my last note was, before you do, was This did not need to be on the pay-per-view whatsoever. It's genuinely pointless, and it baffled me that it all was. And imagine WWE doing this, they would get dragged so fucking hard, dude. And Hairline, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, Roman on the pre-show.
They'd get dragged. They'd get dragged so hard, and then everyone would point to, look at the wrestlers that don't get a chance. Look at the wrestlers who didn't get a chance. This just buried Aussie Open on the biggest stage ever. When like really you could get them. Maybe
no shit.
They could have had a match on the pre-show, getting themselves back over again. You could have saved the Hardy squash for Wembley for Aussie Open. There you go. I don't know. Just ideas. Hairline, sorry. You go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
Aussie Open's got some fucking corny-ass entrances. Fucking... That's like what I could see, like, Australian bros bumping. Never again, bro. I thought it was a very good tease of MJF and his dive, especially with it paying off later on. I just like, big sports entertainment mark, so I'm just, mark out for that kind of shit. Dog, MJF got a pretty big fucking pop for the kangaroo kick, despite all that shit you talk.
I know, but dude, you got again. If he did that shit in fucking Chicago, I don't think they'd have popped like that. If they did that shit in Duluth or wherever they were the other week, I don't think they'd have popped like that, bro. Yeah, wherever the fuck. I'm just being honest. But to what you said, go ahead. This match was great, by the way. I was popping the whole way. And I know you shit on these Australian boys, Aussie Open. I know you don't shit on them, but
music.
Yeah, but music. I like these guys. And they are, the future of fucking tag team wrestling. Again, they're guys I look at. I'm like, if they were in WWE. Just kidding. They'd be stuck in NXT. But sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, they kind of look like Nick Wayne's older brother and fucking the Butcher's little brother.
It's Nick, yeah. That's exactly it. Oh my gosh.
Or their cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man. Last thing I have my bad. Last thing I have in my notes is fucking new ROH champions.
Yeah.
MJF and Adam Cole, the 67, bro. Tony Khan I'm sorry for jumping ahead. Tony Khan made a really good point, and he got over with me with this. He made a very good point. He bought Ring of Honor and whatnot, and had the titles defended in front of the biggest sold wrestling crowd of all time. So it's all like that. That is kind of a fact.
Yeah.
Like honoring the company and all the different tag champs they've had. Example like the Briscoes and whatnot.
That's true, man, and that's where Tony won me over. We'll talk about it as we go along, but he's truly a mark like one of us, and you have to. That's where you have to appreciate him. We'll get into it as we go. The fans, we're losing subscribers right now, Hairline. Anyways, let's move along.
No, he's still a fucking goof, but like. He's right.
We'll talk about it. Play the video from after the event where he's in the ring, like him holding the belt. Someone did a side. Yeah, dude. Someone did a side by side of him holding the title at the press conference, and then Herb Abrahams holding the UWF title. And they're
the same energy,
uncanny,
the same eyes,
and it looks exactly like him, dude. Oh my god! And like you can't deny that. So we'll
try that.
We'll get into that. But anyway, so
it's gonna be so good.
Hook takes on Jack Perry for the FTW championship with FTW rules. Now, Hairline, there was a lot of drama that took place. Are we going to talk about that now, or are we going to talk about that later? Do you want to just address all the Punk shit now, or do we talk about it later?
Yeah, do it after the match. Let's do the match
okay,
first.
So let's do it after the match.
After the match, right?
Certainly. So, yes, it did actually. Yes, it happened after the match. So
that means Punk going on first with Joe. It's like they were like in that, like, you know what I'm saying, like getting ready to go on and
the gorilla position. Yeah.
Where they're
so I'll break it all down because I've assembled somewhat of a timeline, kind of from my just reading online and
Sean Rass Snap email you
that. Yeah.
Is that a work? Is it a work? Is that like you guys are really buddies?
Hairline, you're the only one. You're like creating these false narratives. You know what I mean?
I'm just mad that the comment section takes your side.
Oh, buddy, come on. No, I get the shit. Someone said in the comments earlier, they're like, bro, I don't want to see 250-year-olds in a fucking ladder match or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of
Yeah, oh
right. I
yeah.
don't know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm kind of marking out here. But anyways, so Hook takes on Jack Perry in a FTW rules match for the FTW championship. Again, I don't know. I felt like this story, I guess you could argue, yeah, they built to it, whatever. They gave it a lot of TV time.
A day.
It's crazy that it's one of the feuds that got some of the most TV time leading up to the event, and it's on the fucking pre-show. I think that's hilarious. Basically, Perry comes out in this limo, Excalibur. Someone's like, oh, he chipped for the fucking Uber X or whatever they said. I don't know. That popped me. So whatever, man. FTW rules. I don't really give a shit. I was just saying on the pre-show, you're gonna bury the Stadium Stampede goofy shit that's gonna happen later, right? So why do it all now? It didn't entirely bury that, but with Jack Perry's glass bump, Hairline asked me, he's like, well, what did that glass bump do for Jack Perry? And I said it didn't do anything except for bury the glass bump during the Stadium Stampede match where they bring the glass out and Orange puts his hand in the glass. So they did glass earlier in the night. I was like, so it doesn't, all it did was bury that. And not only that, it also buried the fucking idea of bringing a vehicle into the arena like Sue's van later on in the event. So yeah, Jungle Boy's got fucking big time heat with me, pal. And I wrote, these are my exact notes. The match that got some of the most TV time leading up to this is on the pre-show. I said that FTW title is just random, and they're gonna and did bury a bunch of bumps and spots and moves that could be done on the pay-per-view. That's all I wrote. Now, during the match, give me your thoughts on the match, and then we will talk about Jack Perry talking into the camera and the inevitable match that happened backstage following this.
Well, again, I want to give an example of your biased journalism because you left out the fucking highlight of this match. It's fucking JR, good old JR, made his way down to the ring.
Yeah.
All commentary. I don't know, man. I kind of like Hook. He's got
Love
like,
Hook.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, obviously, there's still shit he's green at, but
Send
like,
Hook.
I don't know. He's going to be great in WWE.
Yeah, dude, his strikes are better than fucking, because they look realer. I'm telling you, and even when people do like those Japanese style forearms, I'm telling you, do whatever Hook's doing. Like, I don't know what he's doing to guys when he's got him in the corner. Those are real blows, dude.
Yeah, man, he's just got like a nice look and aesthetic,
Yep.
I'm not calling him a fuckboy, but you know what I'm saying? Like the fuckboy's just got like the curly hair.
The anime hair, yeah. Shout out his Action Bronson theme music, too.
Yeah, dog, fucking, I'm not trying to side tangent. Action Bronson is the fucking man.
I love
him.
I
listen to his album, and it's always like, God damn it, bro, you're so much better as a feature. Like,
there's some rappers like that, man. 2 Chainz and shit. There's certain guys who are just Future,
It's cool to hear real hip hop on television.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just gonna say the Marks too, who are gonna say, what does this have to do with wrestling? Action Bronson wrestled. He tagged with Hook in AEW.
Well, dude, Action Bronson and fucking Westside Gunn are huge supporters of fucking wrestling itself.
Exactly.
But Hook walked at a Michael Myers pace down the ring to Jungle Boy as Jungle Boy jogged down the ring at him. So that kind of made me laugh. And then as far as my favorite spot in the match, I would say the Rolling Thunder off the hood.
Yeah, it was really good.
Pretty sick. But yeah, man, fucking new FTW champ. Taz immediately took off on commentary.
Yeah. Jungle Boy's gear looks like shit. Taz is completely fed up with this company. I truly believe that. I think he will show up in NXT as a coach there. He'll end his career as a coach in NXT, and he'll manage Hook on TV. I truly believe that. And when he goes, the FTW title goes with him as well, just so everyone's aware of that, unless Tony Khan somehow licenses it or something. Either way, so the match was whatever. During the match,
JR is fucking done, bro.
He is. I think he's just fed up and done with this too. And I don't know. He just doesn't really. We'll get into it. I have notes on that a little later during one specific moment where I went, Jesus Christ, Jim. It was on X, formerly known as Twitter as well. Everyone's posting, formerly tweeting out like, JR's done. He's fucking cooked. He's fed up. Like he's scoffing at it. And I'm like, yes, he is, dude.
Snapping,
so, right. So, anyways, though, Jack Perry looks at the camera during the match after he takes a back bump into the windshield and he goes, "Oh, see a glass spot. Cry about it or something." So the reports are,
glass.
Yeah, real glass. Cry about it or something. Glass. So I thought he was talking about the marks. Obviously, Punk took that personally.
Nope.
Jack Perry apparently goes backstage. And from what I've heard, now there's one story, which was apparently people are saying is complete bullshit. I'm not sure. I didn't write down each mark who wrote down each thing. Yeah, hairline with his Cultaholic shots again. Shout you guys out. Thanks for listening to the pod.
In the press scrum, the fact that Cultaholics were there says everything that needs to be said about Cultaholics.
WrestleTalk was there as well. How do you feel about that?
All that fucking needs to be there is PWT, okay?
And so is Xenia Dizat. How'd you feel about Xenia Dizat being there?
Was that the cool accent guy?
No. Xenia did that. She's like at all the indie shows, all the AEW shows.
I don't care. I go back to my original statement. The only fucking people that need to I was doing fucking MJF there. The only fucking people that need to fucking be there is fucking PWT.
Okay, well, listen. Apparently, CM Punk said, no, don't be sorry. Apparently, CM Punk said, oh, that glass spot didn't go over so well, did it? He said some remark like that to Jack Perry. Now, people have said that is bullshit and that didn't happen. Who knows?
The truth's bullshit.
Yeah, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, right? This is what we know for sure happened.
Tony. Hey, guys.
So this is what we know for sure happened because people came out and said, yes, this is what happened. Apparently, Miro said, this is all bullshit. We don't fucking know. I was telling Hairline this could be a work, which we'll get into in a minute. But what happened was Jack Perry talked some shit to Punk. Punk pie-faced him or pushed him away. And then fucking Jack Perry ran at him, like lunged at him to attack. And then CM Punk threw him in a fucking choke and choked him out. And he was tapping, or I don't know if he went unconscious, but he choked him out basically, right? Like people had to get him off. Anyone who rolled knows that it's not shameful to admit. It happens. So Punk choked him out, and fuck, I guess they were both escorted. Punk was escorted by security. Also, Jack Perry was, but Jack Perry is the one who has the heat backstage. Apparently everyone looks at him as the aggressor, and he was asked to leave immediately. Punk got changed and was escorted out of the building, but it was just like a protocol. It wasn't like fucking, they just don't want a brawl to happen again, right? So it wasn't like he had heat, but apparently during that time he was expressing he just wants to quit AEW, like fuck this, he's working with children, it's not worth it.
Should.
And
go home, Punk.
And so
let me restart. Go back to WWE.
That is home. Let's be honest. What does Vince tell all these guys when they come home? Welcome home. That's what they all say. He tells, and that's what it is. Yeah, it's your
about that wedding
back home. What are you too good for your home?
Yeah, I didn't mean to fax you that on your wedding. Yeah, we claim the rings now. Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, you listen to the pod?
So. CM Punk left the building, and apparently he expressed that. So that has been basically confirmed that CM Punk was very expressive of like, fuck all this, I'm out. And apparently it's been confirmed that Jack Perry was very much the aggressor in all of that, and Punk very much choked him out. Whether it was a one hand, whether he smacked him and then choked him out, or he just choked him out, we don't know. But yeah, Hairline's like good. We said the show before. We know, okay, so Luchasaurus has been listening and taking notes from, he's been on Collision, and he's been clearly taking notes from Punk and Christian and these guys. We know Jungle Boy is one of these guys who doesn't listen to legends. He said, oh, I wouldn't listen to Arn, or I wouldn't listen to Dustin. I'd listen to more guys with my style. And he said, oh, I asked Luchasaurus shit. And clearly, what does Lucha know? Because he's more over now, and he's working the right style now. Finally, and it took, and when Jungle Boy was asking him shit, he so I don't know if there's people in Lucha's ear being like, you need to get away from this guy because he's just gonna fuck your career up or something. I don't know, because that style, that flippy style, is not good for a big guy anyways. So, but not to go off on all that, which we'll get into more of that notion later on in the show as we talk about Will Ospreay. Apparently both guys are suspended, and until the heat cools down, and both will come back, whatever. Hairline, give me your thoughts on all of this nonsense. Yeah, what do you think? People say Punk is a diva. Another fight and a chokeout.
This place is the fucking worst, bro.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, dog. God. I don't know, man. You pretty much covered it all. Fucking CM Punk should just go home as an back to WWE or to his house where he can have sexual relations with AJ Lee.
Who was just on the last episode of Heels, or the one back. Shout out AJ Lee, aka El Dorado, on Heels.
Dope.
Yeah, her and Punk are on that show.
I don't think it's a work. Like we've talked about this off pod throughout the day today. I just think it's fucking egotistical Cali boys that can't fucking
right,
live in reality. The old saying, "Fuck around and find out." CM Punk is find out. And
yes,
Ted Perry found out, Doug.
So just to add to what you said there, Hairline, like I was telling you off pod, man, what's the common denominator in all this? Punk, for sure. What else is the common denominator in all of this, though? Ryan Nemeth, Hollywood guy, hotshot actor guy who wrestles on the side when really he's trying to be an actor and get in movies and lives in Hollywood. Fucking Jungle Boy who grew up in Cali and is rich and is now on a fucking contract well beyond the years that he's put in and earned in the wrestling world, right? Featured in a way that he's so lucky and blessed to ever have been featured in this way,
he's a pillar.
So. And not shitting on him or anything, but and then you have who else? The Bucks, who are California guys who did shit their way, killing the business, make a mockery, and the Bucks earn tremendous respect with me on this all-in show. So I'm not going to even bury them entirely, but I'm just saying that they're these Cali guys who are the bosses, who are on these NBA level deals that they wouldn't have ever gotten anywhere, not even from WWE. And people want to go, oh, well, sales and numbers don't make you the best. Well, the Young Bucks seem to disagree with you guys who think and say that, and I know they're your favorites, so you should really adjust your way of thinking. But nonetheless, the Bucks, man, they got smacked around too. So CM Punk smacks the Bucks around, smacks Jungle Boy around, offers to smack Ryan Nemeth around. And what's another common denominator in all of this? It's these like schmarmy Cali rich kid motherfuckers too. Like, is it not that? Is that not a recurring theme here as well? Like these people who think they can
for sure.
call people soft, barge into rooms, attack people. Like, what do you think this is, man? Like, what are you guys talking shit about behind the scenes? You're
Jersey
all friends
Shore.
too. Exactly, man. Nemeth and the Bucks are friends. We know that. And I'm not shitting on Nemeth. I've put him over, the Hollywood hunk. I've put him over, man. I like him. I like the Bucks too. They earn tremendous respect with me this show. We'll get into that. But also Jungle Boy. I mean, besides his gear, like he looked like such a jobber. I felt like, sorry, I didn't say that earlier. He felt like such a jobber, and Hook looked like such a star in comparison, which I had to note there. But anyways, this conflict is also like Punk. People say, oh, Punk comes in, he's a diva, he's got this big contract and da-da-da. Here's the thing, right? Punk earned his contract. He did the years on the indies,
biggest house,
getting the small contracts, working in TNA in Raven's Flock or whatever the fuck they called it there, going to WWE, ECW. He worked his way up, never changed his name, never changed who he was. He's one of us, man. He's one of the real ones, bro. He broke the mold. He fucking got there before AJ Styles was allowed to come in with his own name, or Samoa Joe. Fucking he came in with his own fucking name, his own gimmick. Every company he worked in, he did him. He made it to the top. He did the shit. He did it all there is. He earned that fuck. He put his body on the line, went to the UFC, fought on behalf of the Marks, dude, sold a bunch of pay-per-views. He put his body on the line. He earned this big contract he got. What's more diva? Earning that contract and coming in and saying, no, I've been there and done that. You're gonna learn from my L's and you're gonna learn from my W's. Or is it more of diva shit to be someone who's like in your fucking 20s, never did a WrestleMania, never fucking did half the shit, couldn't even fucking sniff this guy's jock strap when all is said and done as far as legacy is concerned, and you're on a bigger NBA contract, like the Bucks say, you're on a bigger contract than you could have got anywhere else in the world because fucking you lucked out. Let's be honest, Tony Khan is like a fucking, that's why we need to cheer Tony Khan, man. Shouts out Tony Khan, because he's like a diamond in a rough. He came out of fucking, I don't know, it's truly a miracle this guy even exists. But what I'm saying is, what's more diva? What Punk is doing, trying to make business happen, or you guys who've never done the business he's done on these big ass fucking contracts with egos that are clearly out of whack? If you just think you're gonna barge in and fight Punk, like, what are you fucking guys crazy? And that's my thought on that. I think what's more diva? Just compare it, man. I think it's more diva to be like that. That's all I'm saying. You know, when Punk was 24, he didn't get contracts like this. You know what I mean? He's fucking whatever. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Sorry, Hairline. You go ahead.
I don't know, man. You know, again, you covered it all. Like fucking the Cucamonga kids fucking did it to themselves. Jungle Boy did it to himself. All this shit is the fucking just the common denominators. All these schmarmy fucking California boys with fucking attitude problems that don't live in fucking reality, dog. Hit up Kenny Omega, go play Sega. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Sega. So the pay-per-view kicks off. They do pan the crowd, and I think were we talking about this off pod or on pod? I can't remember, but so the arena, the attendance, I mean, it was pretty packed. There was an area that was blocked off, which was opposite of the stage side. I think this was on pod. We were just talking about it. That's how good my memory is, guys. I'm drinking beer. Smoking weed. Smoking some weed. Yeah. On X, I was like, oh, that area got filled. I don't know. I must have been too drunk or something. It wasn't. I guess it was tarped off for quite a while. Maybe they opened some of it up. I'm not sure. This building was fucking full as fuck though, so shout that out. Like when the pay-per-view started, it was like, God damn, good for them, man. Sorry, you go ahead, Hairline.
Tarp or untarp, they still sold the 81,000. So like, was it, you know?
Right, and the max, and people were like, oh, well, 90,000. It clearly wasn't that. Da da da. Here's the thing: the setup is 90,000 for football,
which WWE will do.
The 90,000, that's for football matches. And you have to think about in football or soccer, or as you Americans call it, you don't put the fucking seats on the pitch, right? Like there's a bunch of seats on the field too. So yeah, they could have still done 81,000 with a bunch of empty seats. Like they could have had it. Well, people were like, it's set up for this many, but I don't know, man. Like even if there was 10,000 empty seats, the way it was set up, that still could have been 80,000 fucking people. I'm not talking out my ass, I don't think, because you look at the floor, dude, and there wouldn't be seats there for soccer. Who even gives a fuck, though? Like myself and Hairline have both said. So the pay-per-view starts.
I said, man, tarp or no tarp, 81,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what's going on here?
Yeah. So they start hyping up MJF and Adam Cole, but my notes I wrote, it's like I just saw them wrestle already in the pre-show, so they jumped the shark, and I'm just making note of like, you know, they're doing the packages, hyping the matches, they hype up that one really big, and I'm like, dude, I just saw them wrestle though. It feels so weird that wasn't on Dynamite. Anyways, Punk and Joe go on first. Now, did they do this to keep the Elite separate? I don't think so, because both of the Elite matches went on one after another, and I'm going to put the Elite, all of them, over tremendously on this show. Now, Hairline's making a disgusted face, but just the fact that they went on like third, I'll talk about it after. Let's talk about Punk and Joe here. This match was one of the very few I was invested in. Like the only matches I was really invested in was this one, but not even so much. I was invested in Ospreay and Jericho, and I was invested in MJF and Adam Cole. Go figure, the 3 fucking singles matches I was the most invested in on this show. But Punk and Joe go on first. I wrote, I would be pissed if I paid for this show and got this match very first. I would be personally pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? A lot of great spots. The announce table blade spot. The John Cena. Well, it was just, I like that he got thrown under the table. He does the blade so no one saw it instead of just blading his face out in the open. But Samoa Joe catching him and doing that fucking throwing him into the under the table and it just broke into pieces like that. I love that. That just looked great. And then he comes out bleeding. Just good shit, man. This is just good wrestling. Punk hit a nice Hurricane Rana at one point. That was really nice. The spot where Punk did the fucking John Cena comeback, and then instead of doing the 5-knuckle shuffle, he fucking does the Hulk Hogan ear shit, and then he hits the rope, drops the leg, and then fucking Joe kicks out at one. Joe starts hulking up. He does the Hulk Hogan fucking no sell you, and the crowd does it with him, and then Punk starts hitting him with his jabs. Fuck, man, Joe and Punk, man, this was a great match. This is a great, like, this was like a WWE style match to me. This was some of the most WWE shit on the card. Just the pacing of it.
Yeah, for sure.
The way there was some indie shit, some callbacks to their old shit. The way they did the homage in that big arena. Man, Hulk Hogan's been getting a lot of shit lately. Let me tell you something, dude. Let me tell you something, brother. he's an all-timer. I'm fucking sorry. Like, the crowd popped so hard for that spot, bro. I'm sorry, but I don't know. It was really good shit. It was just smart psychology to work. Like, Punk was working babyface heel and Joe was working heel face, like, it was smart how they kind of, because they're in Wembley, right? I had predicted it would be like a Hulk Hogan thing where he was going to show up in Wembley and just get cheered out the building, but no, it was still kind of 50-50. Maybe a little more cheers for Punk, but then the way they kind of spun it, it was full on like booing Punk, cheering Joe, But I wrote, this is a great match, but it ended abruptly. And I wrote, I think it's fucked that they got that little time and went first. If you're going to give him that little time, let him go on later. But I wrote, it's an odd finish, but got Punk's old soda pop plunge move as a viable finish again. And it's a callback to their Ring of Honor shit. So I talked about the match enough. Airline, your spots, and specifically on the Hogan spot. What did you think about that?
Yeah, obviously the Hogan spot topped the shit out of me. Hulk Hogan's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. Obviously, I know he's a fucking goof. You don't have to fucking tell me in the comments section.
Yeah, but Hogan on TV isn't a goof. Hogan in fucking sex tapes that are leaked to the internet is a fucking goof.
So basically, man, I wrote fucking Joe loves that little step away spot. He does that every fucking match. Punk is Mox. And yeah, basically what you said, bro. Very excellent fucking pacing. This was a very WWE match. And yeah, Pepsi Plunge, you got it over, bro. Brought her back, bud.
So up next, we had the Bullet Club Gold take on the Elite, the Golden Elite, rather. It was a 6-man tag match. All of these guys are great guys. I really don't get why Takeshita's not just in the Bullet Club Gold. So, and the Gunn boys were there in their corner.
Don Callis isn't looking to make a stable. He's looking to build a family.
Okay.
Where he's starting that family is with Takesha. Okay. Enough.
Okay. So here are my exact fucking notes here. BCG versus Elite. I won't lie, this is lit and I'm popping and I love it. Great babyface and heel work. Super Japanese style match. Everyone's bringing it. Ibushi, I don't know what's wrong with him. I hate to be one of those. What's wrong with him? It's just he's not the same guy, right? Like, he must have beat his body up real bad and hasn't really disclosed that, because to the public, it's like all of a sudden he comes to America and he's just not. I don't know what it is, man. He just ain't. He's holding back, or he just fucking. It's just those Japanese guys, though. At one point, they just go. Their bodies just go. It seems like. So, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I don't know, man. I'm happy I lived the actual Bushi shit and was like a fan in New Japan. And I feel bad for everyone that's just getting this,
And like the fact he was such an OG, he came, he had a little run in NXT and in the Cruiserweight Classic. Like, Ibushi's truly a goat to me, man, of Japanese wrestling. Sure. But that being said,
lovers, bro.
Yeah, but that being said, though, God damn, do I wish he went to WWE or AEW sooner, man. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, he was bringing it. Like, his kicks were nice and shit, but like, that's all he does now. He doesn't have it. He doesn't do anything anymore. And I'm not saying, and you know me, I'm not saying, oh, he's got to do a million flips, but like, you got to do some shit, But anyway, sorry. At one point, this is the part that popped me so hard. And this is where I realized Jim Ross is just done with all this. At one point, Excalibur is like, oh, they're about to hit the golden trigger. And Jim Ross is like, why is everything golden? And Excalibur goes, well, because Kota Ibushi is the golden star. And no one said anything. It just went dead quiet, and Jim Ross was just disgusted. You could just tell he was absolutely disgusted. One of my notes was, which I wrote later on, but I'll bring it up now. The commentary was so bad on this show. They needed Ian Riccaboni or Caprice Coleman or Kevin Kelly out there. Taz was good too, but he just seems like he's fed up. Jim Ross was nice, but he wasn't that turned. But anyways, back to the match. I can't believe the Elite lost. I wrote, this was a smart and good finish to just have a roll up like that, to give the Bullet Club Gold lots of heat. I guess they're really putting AEW's banking on them to be big heat guys in the future, because they're putting a lot of heat to do that, And then I wrote, Takeshita needs to join Bullet Club Gold at this point. It's so stupid they don't. I wrote, I think it's wild they didn't give fans what they wanted, but Kenny Omega really cares about wrestling and is giving back. And he's like Daniel Bryan to me. You can tell, and these are the things that remind me. Fuck, man, you know, Kenny and Hangman and Ibushi. I don't know. They're getting other guys over. Jay White, the Guns, Takeshita. All this does is juice. You know, this just elevates them. And let's be honest. You know, Jay White has probably got more years left on him than Kenny. You know, the Guns got more life left. Takeshita's got more life left on him than any of the three other guys that they were facing. Maybe not Hangman, but yeah. So to me, this is an example of fuck. You know, Kenny just does care about wrestling, and he really gave it up to Takeshita there. When if Kenny won, no one would. You couldn't be mad. It's like, of course, the Elite are going to win at this thing, and I don't know, this match. I thought it was going to piss me off a lot more than it did. I don't know. Takeshita's just so good, and the BCG is so good. That's my thoughts. Sorry, I'm not. You go ahead. Let's get your thoughts.
All right, I'm gonna start with my commentary notes.
I can't wait.
Jim Ross to Bushi's no sell spot. You know what I'm saying? Where he's doing the God thing. He goes, "I'll never understand this." Oh god, JR.
You just buried
as everyone's as everyone's running around in the ring. JR, you could disqualify someone, you know.
Oh, dude, he's just burying.
Yeah. And then from there he goes, "There's too many people in the ring, first of all." Oh god. Yeah, man, in the back. Yeah.
And they were, and what did they say? They were like, yeah, one referee to officiate the action. And then Jim Ross is like, yeah, one referee. Why not?
Yeah, well, he was all like, one referee doesn't matter because there's too many people in the goddamn ring.
It's like, you couldn't bury it more. Like, why? Like, I get it, but gee, thank you, Tony, for giving him money and shit in his old age. Like, thank you, Tony, but fuck, man, just don't have him even be on TV if that's what he's gonna do. Like, there's no point. Him and Taz need to go. They need to go back to WWE, dude. Jim Ross to NXT confirmed.
Please. And then my last one was just what you said, that everything's gold. It's just like, why?
Why is everything gold?
Yeah.
He goes, the golden trigger. Why is everything golden? And then Excalibur's, well, and then it's like a minute because Kota Ibushi is the golden star. And then what do you expect Jim fucking Ross to say to that? He lived through Hogan, Warrior, Macho, Austin, Flair. He lived through all, and you expect him to go, oh, really? Like, Kota Ibushi, the fuck do you expect him to say to that? I can't believe those words were ever spoken to Jim Ross in a fucking serious manner, dude. Sorry, you go ahead. That shit. Ooh.
Okay, so into the match itself, the ref was just allowing Ibushi to fucking interfere and do whatever the fuck he wanted. You know, the ref was just such crap, dude. And then Ibushi botched the Golden Lovers spot. You know, like where they like jump off the ropes, the turnbuckles, like at the same time. Like it's God damn it, I hate the sequence of events here.
Yes,
the sequence. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, he fucked it up, bro. Couldn't even fucking nail their one fucking adorable spot. Now, with that said, you guys, I'm a overweight bald guy, so you know, to each their own.
Right.
But yeah, man. I think my favorite spot was the Blue Thunder Bomb. That shit was sick as fuck, bro. And then Excalibur was all like, Sami Zayn gave him this, and it was just all like, dude, Jesus fuck. What's his name in Ring of Honor?
El Generico.
Yeah, El Generico gave this to him.
Yeah, I know it's kind of cringe, but it is cool that they aren't afraid to just mention these other fucking companies. It doesn't mean you're below them. Like, that's some weird shit that WWE does. Because I pop when they bring up New Japan. It's like, no, you can be the premier. UFC does it all the time. They'll bring up Bellator, they'll bring up LFA or whatever, all these Pride, King of the Cage, all this shit. So yeah, I don't know. You got to be able to do that. It's sports, right? Like, if you're the world premier leading, you can still bring up shit outside of your shit and not bury your shit if you're the top shit, you know? But like, I get why they don't do it. I get why the psychology behind it, right? Like, that's how you keep that aura, that appearance that you are. It's selling it. It's just like Tony Khan, 81,000. Vince McMahon, 101,000. It's the same thing. You're just keeping kayfabe with it. You know, you're just keeping kayfabe with just pretending you're the top. But I appreciate that AEW will go, no, dude, I was the NXT champion. I was the WWE champion. No, he was a WWE tag team champion. He was a Ring of Honor champion. I do appreciate that they're willing to do that. It does make it more sporty, you know? Up next, FTR took on the Young Bucks. And the Bucks come out. They weren't as over as FTR, let's be honest. Now, the Bucks in this match definitely got more over with me because they fucking lost. I was freaking out leading up to this going, dude, they're going to lay down, or they're going to make FTR lay down. They haven't even been in a tag. I called them Vince McMahon and said they're rubbing in FTR's face that they're the fucking bosses. I was like, and they buried this whole thing because if they already said they're made and they're going to win and they're going to be dressed like the British Bulldogs, which they weren't, thank fuck. And I wrote, they are going to win and then think that that's how you get over. But obviously they read the room. They realized that FTR are way more over. They're on a historic tag reign. What they did with the Briscoes was unmatched. What they were able to do. I mean, that tag match on Collision they had with BCG, and then compare that to the tag match the Bucks had with BCG recently. And I know it was the Guns, but still, it just shows you like FTR are the best tag team right now. And for them, if the Bucks were to try and take that from them, that was definitely not the right move. And they didn't, man. The Bucks took the fucking fall in what was a botch filled. I'll read my notes here. It was a botch filled match, but it was a fun match, but it was definitely, I don't know, dude. Again, do the Bucks wrestle as much as FTR do? I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Either way, FTR, these are my notes. FTR are way more over than the Bucks. They got way bigger pops. I've explained multiple times why it's whack. They're gonna win, but I'm appreciative we get this match at such a big forum. Dax and Matt started doing all these reversals with the Northern Light suplexes, German suplexes spot, and it was so bad. LOL. There was another botched quote sequence where Nick clotheslined Matt and Matt couldn't get over the top rope. The match wasn't that great, I have to be honest. This event isn't living up to the hype thus far. I almost shut it off when FTR hit the Bucks move and then Shatter Machine, then Matt Jackson kicked out and was no selling a minute later. I wrote it just buried both of their moves. Thank God I didn't, because the Bucks, they won me over with this. These elite guys are showing their gusto and that they don't need to be the center of attention. They're showing that they get it, and I will give AEW another chance because of this match. That's what those are my literal notes, dude. There you go. I'm sorry, Hairline. I know you're going to shit on this, but yes, there was botches, but the fact they did the right thing, and Kenny did the right thing for the longevity of AEW, because Kenny beating Takeshita does nothing in comparison. The Bucks winning would have just buried FTR by all accounts. And I was bitching about it leading in. They had a competitive match. And ultimately, and it did look like a bit of a struggle for most fucking Bucks matches. So I do appreciate that as well. And they didn't go 10 billion minutes. It was like a decently paced match, you know. I was okay with it. But yeah, man, this is the right call if there ever was a call. Hairline, your thoughts on this match?
I skipped it.
So up next we had the Stadium Stampede match. Our listeners are gonna be pissed.
No.
They're gonna be pissed.
I wish I skipped this.
I can't believe you watched this, but you didn't watch the Bucks put FTR
Agree.
You're fucking like high on some weird shit. Here we go.
It's just weed.
Yeah.
Just weed.
Who's all on these sides here? Let me read it off here. So it's BCC, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta with Mike Santana, which shout out using his first name for fuck's sakes, and Angel Ortiz. They're not using his first name. I'll use his first fucking name. Yeah. Eddie Kingston versus Eddie Kingston, Penta El Zero Miedo. Definitely just call yourself Penta if you can't call yourself Pentagon Jr. Best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. I thought think about Chuck Taylor for 1 minute. Think about
what about him?
How did he get on this show, dude? More like Luck Taylor.
Collision when when Trent like ripped the mic out of his hand.
But dude, listen though. Beretta, like, or pardon me, Chuck, like, goddamn, I know he's been on some big like Japan shows, but how the fuck did he like think about that guy's career? God, what a fucking guy, man. You know, I don't hate on him as much as other people do, but yeah, you call him Muffin Top. Yeah, Cornette calls him Muffin Top Taylor. I don't go that hard on him. Like but I definitely he's not like my favorite, right? When he's on, I'm like, I like Trent Beretta a lot, but like I like Trent and Rocky Trent when they're together. Yeah, but either way, yeah, so it is what it is. And then and Orange Cassidy is in this fucking match, and they have Alex Abrahantes with them. Cassidy at that press conference too, like, god damn,
oh my god,
he was the only part that made me go, yeah, if this, I'm losing all faith in fucking humanity at this point. But anyways, so Stadium Stampede, Mox and BCC come out, and then I wrote in all caps, they're literally trying to look like cool jazz guys, bro. I wrote, you can't make this up. Shout out Bumbleclot Club for listening to the pod. Top pod in. I wrote,
well, probably it's useless that listens and he just reports back.
Bro, they came out with shades on and fucking jackets looking like a fucking wannabe jazz band, bro. They're
no, I'm not too.
Mox, I know how to be cool at Wembley. I gotta do the shooby doo wah wah. Yeah.
Cesaro.
I can't believe.
I guess I'll put these on Tool.
I was like, will this get me on Wembley at least? And then Yuta's just like, yeah.
Now?
Yuta's like that little yippy dog that jump around. So what are we doing today, boss? What do we do? Oh, you want to hit it with a crowbar? Let's hit it with a crowbar. Oh, yeah, let's put the cool jazz shades on, boss. Let's do it. Yeah. That's who he is. Fucking Looney Tunes over here, dude. So
quickly on Useless, man, it's like he's carrying around that fucking crowbar like it made him.
Yeah,
when nobody
like
gave it fucking shit. Yeah, it's all like, dude, this is so cringe, man.
I wrote, Mike Santana comes out looking like a mini Uso in that fucking gear he had.
Yeah, Santana and Ortiz are probably like the best part of that.
Oh yeah, they're the two. The two best. So here's my notes. Okay, I'm just gonna read my notes because I can't go through all the spots because I was just laughing and oh my god, dude, it was brutal. So the people I were with were fucking cringing at some of it, literally looking away, like wouldn't even look at the TV. So anyways, I wrote Mox did the skewer spot. It was rank, and I do not understand that spot whatsoever. Everyone cringed, and why the fuck would you even take the time to do that in a wrestling match when you could put a headlock on the motherfucker or cover them or fucking stomp on their face? Why would you ever even take the time to do this? Sorry, Hairline, go ahead.
I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
So you put it on the top of their head and then you smack them down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The thing is there is a band. You know what I'm saying? And after you're done snapping them down, you have to break the band. You know what I'm saying? But Pentagon's not a deathmatch wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Clearly, Max didn't explain this spot to him. But the whole thing is like you break the band, and then the skewers come down, and then like they kind of fan out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the illusion they create. Since fucking Pentagon didn't break the band, like 3 of them just stuck in his head. And then Max sold it like it was the fucking firework match all over.
Right. So, well, the only thing with it is like all I'm saying is why the fuck would you take the time to get skewers? Like here, listen. Like I understand getting thumbtacks, laying them out and slamming someone on. I understand why you take the time to do that. I don't understand why you take the time to get skewers or some shit. Like I don't know, man. I'd get a table and slam him on it, or I'd fucking just grab a chair and glom him in the back of the head. Why the fuck would that even make sense in a match? That's like the back rake, you know?
Because he's a Nick Gage in Mark.
Yeah, I don't understand that shit at all. Everyone was cringing. I thought it looked worse than when someone did it correctly because Penta jammed them and then let it fall, and then it like broke apart or whatever, but it was like
it just botched.
But like when it fell, like in Mox's head, it looked like it was like a big stake of wood in his head, and it looked horrific. It was like Jesus. I wrote,
yeah, it's supposed to look like a fan.
yeah, no, I get it. I get the aesthetic of it all. I'm just saying, anyways, this match was just a clusterfuck all over. The Kingston, I wrote, then Kingston and Claudio go up to where there's no fans and stooge empty sections of the arena
for like a half an hour.
Why the fuck would you do that? And then commentary's like, oh, the fans are just spreading out. And it's like, no, they're not, we would have seen that because he just walked out, like, come on, man. So I wrote, this is just bad for business. I wrote, but there was funny spots. Kingston just beat up some random jobber who was overselling, trying to get his face in the camera back, like by the merch table or the bar or whatever. I wrote, Penta transforms mid-match. This is so goofy. I wrote, then he climbed. He pulled a Matt Hardy.
Explain that to me quick?
I don't know. He's Penta. I don't know. Hairline. Why don't on your next milkshake date you ask Excalibur, who will explain how Penta El Zero Miedo turned into Penta El Fuego del Solo and his gear changed because this is the demonic. No remorse, blah, blah, blah. He climbs the ladder breaks, and I wrote London had weird-looking tables with nails in them and weird ladders that were flimsy and broke. When WWE goes somewhere, they just have WWE ladders, bro. Get your own ladders and shit. Why the fuck do you go to different arenas and it looks like different shit? That's so indie. Anyways, there's a Lego spot that the producer barely gets. The production was really bad on this show. Then Trent and Ortiz almost killed themselves botching a superplex to the outside. Cassidy does the hand dipped in glass bit. They had the crowd right there. They even had me going, oh shit, like blood sport or whatever. But what happened was then they carried the match on for 4 more minutes and then he does the shit and gets the win. I wrote, it's so cringe. I wrote, they had the fans when his hand was dipped in the glass. Then they lost them. And then they did the finish they should have did when they had them. And I wrote, this was god-awful trash garbage. Hairline, your thoughts on this?
Trash. Man. Like I said, fucking the skewer spot was fucking dumb. They didn't explain it to fucking Pentagon. Mox is a fucking deathmatch, Mark. Fucking, I popped really hard when fucking Toni went, it's so, but it's more of like just the fucking, he's doing the it's Sting thing, But like you said, Jungle Boy kind of ruined it. Any car interaction was already taken away from him just so Jungle Boy could get his stupid shit in. The glass glove was fucking dumb.
Yeah, all of that just so Jungle Boy could get choked out. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Bro?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Sorry, go ahead.
Shout out to the sign.
Yeah.
I'm glad the sign made it to fucking Wembley, dog. I'm sorry I'm laughing because I just visualized Chuck in my head.
When they're walking off
the 3 of them were leaving the arena.
Yeah, and he's just staring at the camera. Oh my God.
Dude. And like Orange is like trying to like wrap his arm around him, and it's all like, Chuck, for the love of God, help Orange.
Oh man, and he's just staring at the camera. He's just such a weird fucking guy, man. I don't get it. Shout out Chuck Taylor, man.
And then Trent walks up and puts his arm underneath Orange and helps Orange. And like,
jeepers.
God, I'm just laughing because I can see the fucking face in my head.
Yeah. So this match.
Talk about WWE.
Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about? Speaking of WWE, Paige, aka Saraya, was in the next match, the women's title clusterfuck 4-way match. Now, Saraya coming out to Queen, chef's kiss. I called this the whole way. I said this is Tony Khan's ingenious, fucking stupid way of getting the belt on Saraya in Wembley. Although this is the only call you make. People are like, oh, they treated Shida like a transitional champ. It's like, all right.
You said that like episode 2 of the fucking pod.
Yeah, I told you that. As soon as they announced All In, I said you got to get Storm versus Saraya in a 1-on-1.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even.
It was Hayter, but Hayter got hurt. It was Hayter. Yeah. And people are like, no, you put Hayter in her own match and Saraya in her own match to get the hometown pop for each person. It's like, dude, you don't get it whatsoever. In America, do you put the America guy against the fucking Canada guy every time? Against the Mexico guy? Like, no, dude, you can do like a UK versus UK. Fuck you talking about? Have you ever watched soccer, aka football? Anyways, though, Saraya comes out with her family. Thank God. It's so cool. She's acknowledging them again. And
Thank God.
well, because I just, man, that's like, you gotta, this is like the moments, which I'm gonna talk about later, because you
It's
have
Paige's dad and mom. Oh,
no, but listen, dude, like, you're there in Wembley. Give us a moment. Like, here's the thing, dude. WWE, WCW, I'm going to talk about this later on in the show more, but WWE, WCW, and ECW, this is what they were successful at and why they'll be remembered forever. They gave us moments all the time. They gave us moments that we remember.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what every other company hasn't been able to do. Now, have there been moments in Ring of Honor and TNA and AEW? Yes, because by proxy of being in the wrestling business, of just being in wrestling, like, a big return could be considered a moment. All I'm fucking saying is that WWE knows how to create these moments that, like, you don't ever forget. Like, the AEW doesn't really do that. They've got a few of those, and they're not good at creating them, right? When they happen, they're natural. WWE can kind of sniff them out and premeditate them. So Paige winning, pardon me, Saraya winning in Wembley, and she said it in the press conference. It was for the end of her book. Like, that's how she can end her book. Exactly. Her doing that, bringing her family out, being able to celebrate with them who gave up their bodies and their lives to UK wrestling and, like, the UK wrestling scene, bringing her family out, giving us a moment like a Davey Boy Smith, Bret Hart and Calgary type thing. She's in Wembley. She comes out to Queen, all of that stuff, man. That's great shit. This match should have been Saraya versus Hayter if Hayter wasn't hurt, but it also just should have been Saraya versus Toni Storm. Again, you could have told all this story, because the Outcasts aren't like Judgment Day. They're not the most over group in planet Earth, even though I put them over. What you got to do is you got to start that descent. And then this is what they could have done on Wembley. You're talking about, the girls who aren't on the show. Saraya versus Toni Storm with Ruby Soho as the guest referee. You get MJF and Adam Cole off the pre-show. Give Britt Baker and Shida a match for the TBS title. Sorry, like, who cares? Like, there you go. I just booked it 10 times better, and it would have made everyone happy. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't like Statler.
Okay, all I'm saying, though, brother, that aside, right? All I'm saying is that this four-way didn't need to be a four-way. It was so convoluted, putting the belt on Shida. Just have Toni Storm versus Saraya. Put Ruby Soho as the guest ref. She's fucking torn between them. Toni Storm punches her. Ruby doesn't disqualify, but then Saraya beats her 1, 2, 3, gets the win. Storm is sort of broken off. You could have did that here because everyone was anticipating some big breakup or something with Adam Cole, and they never got that. They got a continuation of a story, which we'll get into. That was genius booking in my eyes. But either way, though, the Toni Storm Saraya thing, it was right there. You had it right there, but instead you had to convolute it with Shida and Britt Baker in a subpar match. Britt Baker, again, I'm not hating. I'm not one of these guys like, full Britt Baker, but she is the least polished of these four women in this match, and she works the less. And even though Saraya's been on the outside of the ring, mostly barking from the sideline, she has done tags, and she's been in there jumping chicks, and she's been in there, Britt's not fucking in there enough to, like, even quantify being in this match. Almost, it was almost like, we'll just do a triple. I'm not even a Britt hater, dude. Hairline gives me shit because I love her. But anyways, here's my notes on the match. Women's title four-way. Saraya popped me hard with her entrance and family. The crowd was dead. This Toni Storm gimmick is so good. I predicted the Saraya Storm stuff. This was a moment. It should have been a one-on-one match built for months, but the outcome was the right one nonetheless. Hairline, your thoughts on this match?
So Paige has wrestled a total of 4 single matches in her AEW run, just so you get the number there, bud.
Right.
Yeah, because like the question was like, do you want to do more single matches? Which I think is a dumb fucking question.
That's like, you're the women's champion. Like, oh yeah, I don't want to do fucking. No, I'm gonna enter the trios division against House of Black. Oh fuck.
God, thank God that's fucking over, bro.
Yeah. Here, let's get into that in a minute. You go ahead on this. Go ahead on this women's match here.
No, first we have to get through that stupid fucking coffin shit. Anyways, so this Paige match. So right off the start, when Paige and Toni were doing their tag team work, she went to go do this. Paige went to go suplex her, and then Toni just got on the wrong side to do the suplex. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, ugh. God, ladies, get it together.
They just don't touch enough. I wrote it in my notes later. These people in AEW don't touch enough to give us those classic, oh my God matches. Like, oh my God, these moments, this, you remember this spot? It's just like, you remember this spot? That's how it's just, you don't treat Michael's Taker that way, like, and they just don't touch enough, Sorry, you go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. So we're watching the Outcast crumble right before our eyes.
Right. Right. It's a sad day, but I do love Toni Storm alone. So
my God, aren't you right, dude? Paige's mom sold like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
She dropped like a fucking
and she was jumping out her seat during the match, yelling, "You get her, Saraya. You fucking get her." Like, she's selling it, bro. She was great. She was the best part of the fucking match. Yeah.
But yeah, man, basically you called it, Paige Wembley. It doesn't really make sense, but it does make sense.
Yeah, it's the moment. It was them making a moment that will be remembered. To me, that's like the one thing that will stand out from this whole event. Will be like, yeah, Paige in the ring with her family with that title. Never thought she could wrestle again in Wembley. Who'd ever thunk it? Congrats,
I just
man.
like the whole thing with Shida. It's all like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry that your title run. There was no one here in the stadium because of COVID. But I'm going to give you the belt going to the Wembley, which is our biggest paid crowd. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you're going to Wembley with the belt.
Shida tweeted out. Like she said that she was contemplating actually retiring. Had she no. Listen. She said that she contemplated retiring. Had she have won this match and then continued with her reign and then lost it down the line, she would have considered retiring because that would have been the pinnacle. Like, what else could I have done after that, winning in that huge crowd? She's like, but now I'm like reinvigorated to get back to the top, be the champion, and like win on a stage like this again or whatever, right? So I don't know. Shout out Shida. She's over with me. I like her.
I don't really care for Shida, but fucking, she's better than fucking who was Kenny Omega?
Riho.
Rio. Yeah, she's better than Rio. I don't know. I guess to say something positive, it's more believable that fucking, Shida would get over on Nyla Rose more than fucking Rio would. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Shout out to Paige, though. You got your moment. You had your moment with your dad. We'll get into the press scrum, like you said. She was all like, I couldn't talk about my family. And it's all like, no, that's just how the WWE was. I just like, I hate the narrative. They're constantly writing this narrative that the WWE and Vince are fucking Satan,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what you said, you create that illusion and it's kayfabe, by not doing that shit.
Right. So up next, we have the Coffin tag team match. Where do we begin? Basically, Darby Allin and Sting took on Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage with Prince Nana. Okay, where do we start? I'll just go through my notes. The guy rapping for Swerve botched so hard on the entrance. It was hilarious.
Most of all, fucking, I don't give a shit about Swerve, so it's not like I'm trying to defend the guy.
Oh, I love Swerve. He needs to be away from whatever the fuck is going on now. Yes, he's in there with Sting, great shit, but this is just like thrown together. Why is it a Coffin? I don't care about, because it's Sting. I don't know, man. It's just silly. But anyways, Darby has a short film with Sting. I wrote Darby has a thumbtack coat. And I wrote, cool, we just saw Mox stab people to death and be penetrated with shards of glass, so who cares? I wrote Swerve is such money. Darby and Sting stay undefeated. Was what it was. I popped for Sting and Swerve and Darby. Christian was whatever. But ultimately, what did this really do for anybody? This isn't a moment. You could have had a moment with Sting. But instead of a moment, you created just like bullshit.
I can tell you what it did.
What?
You remember her wager?
If Edge would come back. Yeah, that's right. Right.
$25.
$25. Okay. So I owe you $25. I got you. And but wait a minute. The deal was if Edge shows up anywhere on the card, correct? We still have more card to review. He still could show up, Caroline.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Way to break
game. I would have been so mad if he would have ran in during the fucking press scrum. I would have been so mad. Like, damn it!
Yeah.
So the match itself, though, I don't know, man. I'm a fan of Joker's thing because of all the shit from fucking Impact and all that. We're both Impact marks and whatnot. But I'm just like, Sting doesn't need to be doing these table spots, bro.
Yeah.
This is like fucking. I don't know how many episodes in a row where we're bitching about Sting botching a table spot. At least this time he did it a second time.
Right. It's
all that did was come off corny, bro.
Right. It's funny that they. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say too. At one point during the match of the Stadium Stampede, the crowd started chanting, "We want tables." And John Moxley, the camera cuts to him, and you audibly see him going, "What the fuck?" Like he was audibly like, "What the fuck, man?" And they were chanting, "We want tables," after they're doing all this crazy shit. These marks still just want tables.
Yeah, I saw that.
It just shows you like that stuff doesn't mean shit when you do it all the time. Doesn't mean anything. And then this match Mox, too with the coffin shit, it doesn't mean anything when like how do I care? How am I gonna pop for a thumbtack jacket when I just saw a glass spot and a windshield spot, you know, and then a table spot, then I get another fucking table spot, and then fucking Sting doesn't break the table. I popped though how he got back up, did the leg drop, made sure it broke. But London again, they had weird tables with weird nails in them and shit. You could see the legs were weird. They had fucking weird ladders that fucking gave way. Thank God there wasn't a ladder match set for this card. You know, dude, someone would have fucking died. And it's weird because Excalibur made a fucking remark about, oh, these London, I am the table or whatever. He made a remark like that. It's weird.
He said Sting is the table.
Right. So, but it's weird how like you can reference like Botchamania and Matthew, but AEW botches is persona non grata. Like I love botch compilations, dude. Does that make me a bad guy? I don't think so. You know, I'm not out there like, oh, look, this dummy can't work. But when it's egregious like Britt Baker, yeah, I'll be like, dude, she clearly doesn't get in the ring enough. That was a botch fest because she doesn't get in the fucking ring enough, you know? You can call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Anyways.
Yeah, so did you catch Darby calling the spots in the ring all super loud and shit?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it must have been hard to hear. So a lot of people online were saying, oh, the arena didn't sound that loud. We'll get into this more later too, but you got to remember the roof's open. So a lot of that sound floats up and out, right? Like it goes out of the arena. That's why it didn't sound. So you notice that with outdoor WrestleManias too. Either way.
There's like, okay, listen, man, I'm like the most negative AEW person. And like, I'm not even whining about any of that shit.
Yeah, okay. And we're putting it over 81,035, pal.
Yeah, right. Let them have their one little W, you know, because they're going to come back and Dynamite's going to fucking be a shitty fucking hard cam. And like, you know,
well, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about that more later. Let's stay on here. So any last thoughts on the coffin match?
Yeah, my bad. So
go ahead.
It was cool to see Luchasaurus finally understands wrestling, you know, right. So like fucking, yeah. I said this to you off pod. It's like, if you would have told me fucking Luchasaurus was the one out of his old trio to be the one that grasped wrestling the most, I would think you're lying, you know, but here we are, you know, so shout out to Christian Cage for really fucking taking him under his wing and fucking do it like this, brother. Man, God. And just Sting like has nothing to prove. He's just I don't want to say it's cringe, but it just like it feels like that fucking meme. Like, what's going on, kids? Oh, where's the kids at? You know, with the fucking Jesus. Well, like you get what I'm saying? Like Dave Meltzer hanging out. You know, it's just like, bro, fucking go home. Like, okay, so how old is Sting? Like 69, 78.
I think he's in his 66 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so like. Man, just how is he going to enjoy the last couple years because he has to do fucking
maybe he is spot. Maybe he is, man. Maybe this is what he's like, fuck it, I'll just go out there. If they give me the money, I'll show up and jump through a fucking table. It's crazy that what they have listen, it's crazy what they have him doing, but WWE wanted him because like, okay, I don't believe that he really I don't believe that fucking turnbuckle spot really like retired him, and that I just think he just did that so he could get the fuck out of WWE. Like, I don't know, man. What would they have done with him? Like, have him show up at Manias and shit? Maybe that's just not what he wanted to do. He's just like, look, I'll go to AEW. This guy will pay me shitloads, and I'll just I have fun diving off shit on jumping on people. I don't know. When am I going to get to live again? Does he skydive? We don't know what he's like. I don't know. Maybe he's a thrill junkie in his old age. Like, we don't know, man. That's why I commend him.
He lived in the previous fucking 60 years. I don't know, man. Like, just quick example here. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at fucking the Bulldogs. You know, fucking the one crippled. You know, and like that was from his early age. So like, what's Sting doing damage like with all these fucking table spots, bro? I don't know. I guess whatever.
No, they must be putting like astronomical money in front of them, though. That's all I can honestly think. I just think Tony. Sure. I think Tony is willing. Tony Khan is willing to. We'll talk about this later. I feel like he's willing to drop $1 billion into this. Whatever, $1 billion off his tab.
Well, he flat out said it.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
With Cole.
I mean, yeah.
He said that with Adam Cole. Like, I'll pay you whatever the fuck. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Are we done with this Coffin match? Good.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was just wondering. So up next, we have. How are we gonna do this? We'll just announce it. We have Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. Fozzy gives their performance, and Jericho tried to do Freddie Mercury. I fucking cringe, bro. This would have gone off all right if he he tried to do Freddie Mercury. Hey, but he did it so poorly. Saturday Night Live parody meme version of Freddie Mercury. That's how fucking bad that was, dude. I fucking spit beer out, just was laughing. Like, I could not believe he had the audacity. I tweeted out, nobody loves Jericho more than Jericho. You know, I think you said that on the pod. I just couldn't believe that. So Jericho did fucking Freddie Mercury, and I burst out dying laughing. My God. I wrote, he's like Jarrett Trump. I wrote, nobody loves Jericho more than Jericho and hairline. I wrote, he's so bad at singing live. LMAO. I love him, though. I wrote, the crowd was not into it like he hoped. They popped for Ospreay. Ospreay changed the IWGP US title into the United Kingdom title. It's kind of markish, but I get it. But weird. Why didn't New Japan just keep the Intercontinental title? And then it would have just covered all those bases. But either way, that's the entrances, hairline. Give me your thoughts on the performance, the entrances, then we'll get into the match.
First off, how dare you? Listen, Freddie Mercury wishes it was Chris Jericho.
Oh, Freddie Mercury rolled twice in his grave, brother.
Good. Do another one.
No. Oh, no. So Fozzy's overall performance, bro. Come on.
Phenomenal.
No.
And having Sammy accompany him down to the ring.
And he had to go, come on, sing it, because no one was singing it.
No, you don't know that. It's an open arena.
Yeah, you're right. I was just, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Whatever stupid shit you said. His band was really fucking vibing, bro, but they didn't like, oh, you know, we'll just put a camera over here. We don't need to put a camera on the other side.
It'll be great. Jared Trump, it's going to be huge. Tony, I have an idea. Me at Wembley Stadium. Fozzy played Wembley Stadium. It's the truth. There's no other way. Check the Guinness book. Fozzy played the stance. Okay. We were there.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
He was all like, well, I want to go over on Will. And he was all like, no, you can't go over on Will. He's like, well, then I want Fozzy to play. Okay.
I'll put him over. But Fozzy has to be able to play matches. Holy shit. Yeah, remember WWE? Remember when Fozzy was going to do like a band battle of the bands against John Cena? And then John Cena showed up with the trademark and bumpy knuckles. And then Jericho came out and was like, Fozzy isn't playing. Nah. WWE's like, yeah, fuck that. But AEW's like, oh, yeah, let's put Fozzy on.
Getting into the match itself before we get into the match, fucking shout out to the Brad side. That was fucking sick.
Yeah. Well, wait, though, before we get into the match as well, Jericho attacked Will Ospreay at Rev Pro a couple nights prior, which went very viral. And I wrote, Jericho's dope like that. And this match had me the most invested going into it. Probably on the whole card other than Adam Cole MJF. So
you know what else went viral?
What?
Fozzy's performance of Judas at Wembley.
Not for the right reasons.
Thank you very much.
Not for the right reasons.
That's subjective.
Hairline. So
we should read the comments.
Okay.
On Patreon.
So I wrote, their work is great. Jericho hit that Dragon Rana reversal. Shit was crazy. I wrote, this company is insane. Guevara comes out and hits Ospreay with a bat, but he's the heel. But because he's hometown Jericho's heel, I wrote, I don't know. They just need to figure out heels and baby faces better. I wrote, but I love this. This was peak Jericho in every enjoyable way. His wrestling, his psychology, his intuition, his ego, his band, his outrageousness. Ospreay is so good because he uses the flippy shit with psychology, especially now. He sells, he works the audience, he works the camera, he paces out his big moves. He thigh slaps a lot, but he lays his shit in. Everything he does means something, and he makes Jericho look like $1 million. He has raw power and can power Jericho up when he needs to. He can get up for spots when he needs to. His positioning's great. I could blow Ospreay all day. I wrote, Aubrey Edwards wasn't being gross in this match. The crowd was on fire. The afterbirth, Jericho pushed Sammy away, and I wrote, I bet Guevara joins Don Callis next. Is the next member of the Callis family. Jericho hairline pop for that. You like that, don't you? Right, you like that, don't you?
That's horrendous. Listen, no. What did Sammy say? I'm Chris's only actual friend.
Yeah, so it's
in Chris Jericho's contacts. In Chris Jericho's contacts, it's Fozzy, Vince McMahon, and Sammy. That's it. Okay.
Tony Khan's like, hey, I thought we were friends. I thought it was all great.
Yeah, every time he texts him, who's this? Oh, it's Tony.
Tony, have we met? Okay, brother. Tony, give me your thoughts on this match and the after schmoz and yeah.
Match of the night.
Yeah, the right guy won as well, obviously.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. All right, so I guess I'll start with fucking. It was a sick corkscrew kick that was pretty dope. It was Reversal City, with population the cold breaker. You know what I'm saying? Bro, fucking Aubrey, come here. I want you to count as slow as you possibly can.
Oh man, she is egregious, bro. 1, 2. She's like the fucking 2K games. She counts slower than fucking. It's like, hurry up, you stupid ref. Fucking count them.
Bro, and you know it was Jericho. Aubrey really worked the crowd.
Yeah. Aubrey, you're going to work the crowd. It's going to be great.
Yeah, he does it too. Oh, God, dude. Oh. Yeah, man, but yeah, pretty much congrats, Will, on fucking beating fucking Kenny Omega, Okada, and Jericho all back to back.
Yeah.
Most of all, poor Sammy. I don't know, man.
This is how you get heat on Sammy. Ready?
Listen, no, hold on. It's like the entire Jericho Appreciation Society walked out on this guy. And the one dude that stays around gets shoved. I don't know.
He's joining Callis' family. He's going to be, because Callis said it. He said, I'm not looking for a stable. I'm looking to make a family. So Takeshita and Guevara. What were you just?
Because I said that earlier in the pod.
I know. I was repeating you, bruv. So yeah, this is a great match. Up next we had House of Black.
It was a decent match, bruv.
So up next we had House of Black versus the Acclaimed. Now, the Acclaimed on Collision cut a fucking. They did a sick music video, dude. That it was a great song.
That's dope.
Yeah, Daddy Ass was in it. Fucking Caster's a star, man. That guy's incredible. He is like a really good rapper too. It's crazy. Yeah, all three of these guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I got some notes on this. Obviously, here's the whole thing. This match right here. And I know Tony Khan's like, oh, we got to get everyone on. This should have been put on All Out, if you want my honest opinion. Either way, though, House of Black comes out. Their entrance was really dope. I wrote, but it's the spooky team cliche to wear white at a big pay-per-view. Literally Judgment Day, fucking every spooky team. They wear fucking white at a big pay-per-view. Like, we get it. Anyways, also shout out Buddy Matthews carrying the Bray Wyatt lantern during the during their entrance. Shout you out for that. R.I.P. Bray. R.I.P.
How much better did Buddy look though with like the mask on? You know, and like all four of them like in sync like that. They're like, I know they always look goofy with fucking the two face paints and then the one guy normal and then
right. I like with it when they're all in sync, which they typically do on the pay-per-views. But I like those masks, those fucking Squid Game Illuminati elitist fucking masks that they're wearing.
Yeah, Squid Games is a great reference there. Yeah, the MJF one.
His is kind of, I don't really like MJF's devil mask. I think it's cheesy as fuck. I gotta be honest. It looks Halloween still. It looks like it'd be in like a Netflix horror movie or something. Anyways, we're getting off topic. So I wrote, Caster comes out spitting bars. Do you remember any of his bars? He said something about Prince Andrew, and
they feel like freestyle bars. You know what I'm saying?
he must write them like right at the arena right before, you know?
Yeah, this guy gets it. And like
Yeah.
going back to that music video, this guy understands music, like structure and how to compose a song and like, battle bars, man.
Right. So I wrote, all of a sudden they decide to bring back house rules, which they've gotten away from the last few weeks, which we've been putting over. Now they're like, oh, it's house rules and it's no holds barred. And I wrote, as a wise man, Jim Cornette once said, lazy booking. I wrote, Julia is fine as wine. I wrote, I think Schiavone popped with a what when Billy Gunn told her to S his D. And I wrote, this was whatever though, bullshit, whatever. Why a hardcore match after we had 2 or 3 of those? I wrote, they show Mercedes Moné and she gets huge pops. Acclaimed won the trios titles. Thank fuck. That's what I wrote. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Sasha was popping to the Flames entrance.
Of course.
Fun. Yeah, well, yeah, fuck yeah, because they're dope.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, god damn. Okay. Before I get into the match, I just want to say this is like who should be the fucking trios champion.
Right. It's about time. And now Billy doesn't retire, right? Like, when does he retire? Probably when he loses these, you know?
I think I will tease your retirement here. I'm actually going to
get the fuck out. Okay.
Well,
but anyway,
it's we try to apply logic and like, but there just is none.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking like we're saying, Shida, I'm sorry that you had to have the belt during COVID, so I'm gonna give you the belt going into the highest selling ticket sell pay-per-view of all time. Yeah, be great. Anyways, though, man. So the match itself, like you said, shout out to Buddy for the Bray Wyatt homage. I wrote down some of the bars here. He said fucking he had that Harry Potter bar.
Yeah.
Where he was all like, who he said
Hermione
like,
and Weasley.
Yeah, or in the ring. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Taz called fucking Burger King a Zeppelin when he did that fucking.
Oh yeah, and Taz came back out. Thank goodness. But my note, yeah, I have a note later. But sorry, go ahead.
Fucking, I don't know, man. I don't need the witchy girl getting involved in every match. Like, does she wrestle? Like,
yeah, she's wrestled. Yeah, she wrestles like she'll do like a Rampage or whatever the fuck, you know. But other than that, I like her. I think she fits good with them.
No, yeah. They're good. Like, yeah, she fits. She's good, and she's a good aesthetic and all that. But like, I don't need these interference spots.
And like, bro, I know we're kind of tired of the House of Black spooky shit, but what do you do? Break those 3 guys up? Like, no, just keep them together.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fine with House of Black. Just fucking, I don't know.
Like, I don't want to see Buddy on his own and Malachi on his own and Brody King. Brody King's just gonna do spooky metal shit over here, and Malachi's gonna. I don't need any of that.
I think Brody King could be by himself, but I don't think.
Yeah, with like a manager, with like a good talker, you know.
That's still like years off from him like having a solo run. Yeah, he needs to be in House of Black for a while. You know, like in the Indies, he was doing that fucking I'm a hardcore kid, and he'd come in with his fucking ski mask and shit, and it's like, bro, fucking straight edge kids don't need to rob. They have a nice job factory where they
nah, bro, it's ski mask culture, bro. Okay, so main event time. I wrote the package was great. I'm so invested in this, but I saw them on the pre-show, so what the fuck? That aside, isolating this match. MJF is so over. I wrote this match was really good. They almost lost me grabbing the shirts at the start because I didn't know if they were going to go do a dance or some silly shit. Bryce Remsburg was fucking so bad, worse than Aubrey ever could be, which we've covered on our show already. I'm not going to go
real.
He was so bad in this match. The brainbuster on the stairs was fucking brutal, utterly brutal. I wrote both guys were safe, so that's all you can ask for. So put the spot over. I wrote AEW is just wacky, but I love it, honestly. I predicted the double turn. They're just going to take their time with it because slowly in the match, the great storytelling, man. The story was basically, Adam, like MJF was going to MJF, but he's still like, no, I'm still your friend. But slowly we saw Adam Cole willing to be heel and do whatever it takes to win the title. And MJF, as we saw in the aftermath, I'll just spoilers, whatever, MJF defends the belt. And then, basically he puts the belts aside and value shows that he's actually becoming a good guy and he values friendship more than the title. So I just wrote, it was great storytelling, great holds, great pacing. I wrote it was faster than WWE shit, but it was like NXT 2016 type shit, which is great.
Yeah.
I wrote Roddy came out. I was right. It'll be a slow build though, which I didn't expect, but is nice because they're going to keep the ratings high. They're learning from WWE. Keep a good story going. I don't know. Taven and Bennett were there. I think, yeah, I don't know. Taven and Bennett flew all the way out to London just to like pat fucking Roddy on the back. That was all cheesy and dumb. But other than that, like they got plane tickets and hotels to come fucking be like, it's okay, Roddy. Like that, you really didn't need that. This match overall was great. And then, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, what were your thoughts on the main event, Hairline? And then we'll go into I have some notes just on my overall thoughts of the event,
I wrote if Phil ever tries to add a third person into the podcast, he better expect me to act like Roddy, and he's Adam Cole with me.
Dude,
going,
a third person? Jeez, dude.
Not him.
That would be so bad.
I'm working us into this, bud. But I totally would be Roddy. Going, me.
Yeah.
Airline.
You'd be kicking the fucking the rims on the car.
Yeah, so that's just
hurt your foot.
Kicking my iPod. Yeah. All right. Anyways, the match itself, though, I disagree with you. I thought it was a very sick entrance from MJF, and his mask was dope. Bro. I know you weren't shitting on the entrance itself, but the mask was dope, dude. I don't know how it was that much different than the fucking House of Brock's mask.
His looks like a fucking one you'd wear on Halloween. Theirs looks like some porcelain shit you got if you were like some schmarmy cocksucker who fucking hunts homeless people on the weekends. Sorry, go ahead.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I'm getting into Squid Game here.
Squid Game was dope, bro.
Yeah, can't wait for season 2.
Taz was just like done.
He's just so
talking
done.
Shit to Nigel.
Yeah.
And Nigel was just all like, well, you just pissed off me and 81,000 people that want you to leave. And he's all like, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, bud. I can't wait. Taz is just fucking done. It was good pacing, excellent storytelling. I guess Cole was supposed to be the heel. I don't know, man. It's just weird.
They just like kind of double turned it, but then they kept Adam babyface by the end so they could continue the friendship shit and still pop good ratings. I thought they played it very smart. It was booked well. I can't lie. Like I'm still really into their story. I want to see what comes next. And thank God this feels like a real world title story again. Sorry, you go ahead.
Excalibur just kept saying everything had steel in it when it wouldn't break properly. They did the table spot. He was all like, "Oh, this is one of those steel tables," and I was all like, "Jesus, dude!" Similar to the one
on commentary. There needs to be a new commentary team. I'm sorry, he's just not serious.
Whoa,
he's not serious.
Hey,
I wrote in my notes. Commentary was so dry and bland throughout this event. Caprice Coleman, Kevin Kelly, Ian Riccaboni. Anyone should have been out there, other than fucking Excalibur and Tony Schiavone and JR.
Doug, JR was great.
He's the GOAT. Bring him out there with someone serious like Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's all it is.
Because he shits on it, and then they just get quiet, because they don't know. Like they're all like, JR is not worried about a paycheck.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And they're all like, they need that paycheck.
It's crazy.
I never thought about it like that. JR is all like, no, Tony's a mark. He's gonna bring me in no matter what. Oh yeah, well I give you guys JR. The Jim Ross. Can we get him with King one more time?
Oh, I'd kill for it. So what were your thoughts on like the story in the match? Like, what do you think? Where do you think they go from here? Like, any last thoughts on the match?
Yeah, the Canadian Destroyer that the fucking referee took was stupid as shit.
Oh yeah, that's what shit. Just get him out. Just get all that type of shit out of here. Personally, sorry.
I'm done with it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And basically what you said, fucking, they flew the Jungle Book out there just to fucking pat his shoulder and whatnot, I guess. And then my commentary note, fucking Taz was all like, this is a lot of confetti on the desk. It's just, he's so checked out and just like, fuck this.
So where do you think they go from here as far as where do you think they go from here as far
Roddy.
as the story, Roddy?
Yeah, Roddy throwing tantrums. Roddy posted a picture of him and the Jungle Book. It said hashtag end the heartache.
I guess we'll give our overall thoughts on the show. So basically, I wrote some notes here. So we'll go through these last notes I have here, and then we'll go through Tony Khan snapping in the ring, getting unhinged afterwards, the event. Here's my last note. So there was a lack of replays, and the production wasn't that good for this at all, but they'll refine that over time. I wrote a subpar pay-per-view for AEW standards.
Quick on that. My bad. Well, I did notice some of the replays were like super sped up. Did you catch any of that or no?
It just all wasn't right, and they didn't have them at the right times. They were missing spots. They just need to refine that.
Like it was literally like earlier in the show, it was like literally like when it popped up, it was like fast forward.
It was at like 1.5 speed or something. Yeah, it's what I mean. I don't know what they were trying to do. I wrote AEW doesn't give you moments like WWE. I wrote WCW understood that. ECW understood that. TNA, NWA, ROH, AEW, they don't understand moments. They've had a few by proxy of being in wrestling, but we see these same matches, these same spots, these same moves on Dynamite every single week. In the last 2 months, we had a Blood and Guts, Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede, Texas Chainsaw Death Match. They don't understand that you can take the time to build up to the moments at these events. People were fantasy mark booking like me when Nigel McGuinness came out and announced the 81,000, but people were fantasy mark booking saying Nigel McGuinness is going to get in the ring and open challenge someone, and then Danielson's going to come out to Final Countdown. But even that won't happen because they don't think about fucking legacy and moments. And the Marks chant, "We want tables," when people are stabbing each other and killing each other with barbed wire, and they just chant, "We want tables," because they don't appreciate everything they've done along this way. To go back to what Moxley said when he's like, "God damn," in anger at the crowd, you can clearly, when they're chanting, "We want tables," he's like, what the fuck do we got to do? And it's just that when you do the shit every fucking week, I can't pop for it when the moment happens. WWE doesn't do the crazy shit every week because when it happens at SummerSlam, you go, "Oh my God, what a moment." And that's just what they didn't deliver. I feel like there was kind of 2 moments, maybe Adam Cole, and then you had the fucking Saraya thing. There's no moments beside, oh, Darby did a crucifix or did the coffin drop and landed on a coffin. I've seen that. I've seen him do it on tables, on the apron. I see it every week. You know, I don't know. It just means I see Moxley bleed and do dumb stab people every week with a screw. Like, why do I care about it? You know,
dude, so you skipped over the greatest moment of the whole show, which is fucking horse shit. We got to see Fozzy play in front of 81,000 people. God.
Okay, so yeah, so my last notes were these wrestlers just don't touch enough. They don't work the house shows and do the loops, wrestling a few times a week, and these big shows always show that. Like they're just figuring out what works between all of them live, whereas there's infamous stories of wrestlers talking about how they figured all their shit out that pops crowds and does this and that, what works and what doesn't with each other on house show loops, and then they bring that to TV. The ladder match, Royal Rumble, etc., were all done off of TV first so that they could refine it. Andre wrestled Hogan like 100 fucking times before Mania. That doesn't exist in AEW except for when the NJPW guys link up, or like the longtime vets, or like Swerve and Darby. They have chemistry clearly, even though they don't put on like classics. Like you can tell they've touched a bunch, you know. But yeah, besides that shit, you don't get that feeling, you know. So that's why the matches don't feel like they're paced correctly. They don't feel like they're. That's all. I wrote they announced they're coming back to Wembley 2024, all in London. So All In is like their new WrestleMania. Hairline, your last thoughts on the event and your thoughts on they are coming back to Wembley next year, 2024. It's going to be their tradition.
Like I said, I think it's a bold claim to say that they're still going to be fucking trucking along in a year. It's going to become that where like the local shows suck, you know, but the TV ratings are good, and then they do huge overseas shows. That, you know, if AEW
but overseas, where else do they do one besides there? That gets a big one.
Well, in the press room that we're about to.
Again, though, that was sort of what I already.
They were talking about Mexico. Oh yeah, Puerto Rico and whatnot. You know, we have a lot of fans there.
So, Hairline, before we get into the press conference, our listeners, we have the best ones in all the land. Shout out the PWT listeners. That's one true. Of which is a jolly good gentleman from London, I believe, and his name is Paul Nolan. And shout out Paul Nolan. We'll plug his Instagram at Paul Nolan Sound on Instagram, and he makes music. And he
check it out.
Right, and he was not only at WrestleMania this past year, WrestleMania 39.
No.
But he was also at All In Wembley, London, and he is from around the way. So he has a perspective of somebody who was, I don't know, he had boots on the ground. We were watching it from North America on television, as it were. He was at the event, and he can compare it to being in the event of WrestleMania, which Hairline and I both simply spectated. So we get the cultural significance of this event in the UK and in London and in Wembley and all of that. But objectively, so I see like the UK fans online, they're like, oh, but objectively, like, look a day later, and I know there's the Punk drama, but it wasn't the greatest event I don't even think AEW's ever put on. So like a lot of the UK fans are saying, but I get it. You guys were there. Like, you know, to me, WrestleMania 18 is the greatest of all time. It was in Toronto. Does that give me some bias? A little bit, you know. It also had Hogan versus The Rock. That being said, Paul Nolan, he wrote us this report, dude. He wrote us this huge report, boots on the ground, Hairline. And yeah, man, shout out our listeners. We have truly the best listeners, the top pod listeners in all the land, in all of professional wrestling. Hairline, are you ready for Paul Nolan's report? All in report.
Yeah. And hey, right before we get into this, I just want to say, like, there's a huge difference between like live wrestling and experiencing it and then watching it on television.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's more or less what you're trying to get at, you know?
Right. And that's why we wanted to do this. And Paul Nolan offered, and by the way, folks, let me preface this by saying him and I had a discussion prior to him going to the event, and I had told him, listen, if you had the best time of your life and marked out and cried, I want you to write that. If the food was bad, I want you to write that. If the compare it to WrestleMania, but I want you to be honest. If it was the shit, say it was the shits. If it was the best thing you've ever done in your entire life, say it was the best thing you've ever done in your entire life. And he said, okay, that's what I was thinking too. He's like, I did not want to be biased in any way. So we were already on the same page, and it went without saying, but we did say it. So just so you listeners know, this guy is he's just doing his thing, man. So intro and pre-show thoughts. This is per Paul Nolan of PWT Insider. No, I'm just joking. So he wrote, this year, I've had the privilege of attending both WrestleMania 39 Night 2 and AEW All In. I was genuinely fascinated as to what the differences would be between both events, and let me tell you, they couldn't be more different. At WrestleMania, there was a sense of genuine community across divides. I sat next to people from completely different backgrounds in every sense you can imagine, and I still made friends, united by the love of wrestling and spectacle. AEW, at least with All In, seems to attract a very singular crowd. These people are passionate about their version of pro wrestling history, which very much diverges from the WWE script. This guy's great. I love this. So he wrote, regular EC dub chants.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. So he wrote, regular EC dub chants kind of tell you everything you need to know. So they were regularly chanting EC dub chants in the arena. Hairline hates that, dude, more than anyone.
But you fucking mark.
It's like,
didn't live it, bro.
I know. And why?
I didn't okay. I don't mean a side tangent here, but fucking, I was listening to Corny and fucking Brian Last talk about fucking Terry Funk and all that, and they were talking about how like half of the community was saying like, yeah, we also like saw him at Chainsaw Charlie. You know what I'm saying? So like, guys, it's okay to not be a poser. I'm not saying be a poser, but like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't live the fucking Onita fucking explosion match.
Yeah,
so
I'm a huge Onita mark,
you know?
but I didn't live it. I just watch his legend on Dark Side and I watch his matches on YouTube. I'm not a fucking like, I'm a mark for the story. It's like Bruce Lee. That shit happened in the 70s. I'm a mark for Bruce Lee, but I didn't experience, I don't know exactly what it was like to see it through that lens. And so it's crazy that you go there and all these millennials are chanting EC dub at an AEW event for what? Was there one ECW wrestler on the whole show? Maybe Taz?
Yeah, Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy.
Yeah, Jungle Boy. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Oh, shit. So Paul Nolan writes, that being said, a lot of the fans I spoke to were here because it's Wembley, quote, and it's a chance to see some form of a large format of professional wrestling in whatever form it comes in. It's an event in and of itself and isn't entirely about AEW. It's about UK wrestling culture. Exactly what I said at the beginning personally. So continuing along. And there's also a lot of overlap between the WWE and AEW fan base. Of course, bro. Of course, WWE fans are going to be there. Smart, intelligent UK fans who can appreciate both approaches to the art form, who are equally capable of parsing out the bits of both promotions they don't enjoy and focus on what they love. Their aesthetic differences between AEW and WWE on a scale like this couldn't be more stark. For starters, they had the nerve to play Cody's Kingdom theme tune on the PA before 0 hours started. Talk about I'm totally over my ex, bro. I've moved on. No, honestly, I have. Damn, they played Cody's Kingdom. I guess honor. I'm okay with it. Yeah, we have the right to our version. They have the WWE mix. So WWE willingly sacrificed up to 10,000 ticket sales at WrestleMania 39 in order to bring their level and quality. Ooh, hold on. This sentence is so important. What this guy spoke. WWE willingly sacrificed up to 10,000 ticket sales at WrestleMania 39 in order to bring the level of quality of production expected for such an event as WrestleMania. Woo! To be completely honest, AEW All In looked terrible in comparison. The production was almost non-existent, and the feeling in the stadium was that it felt cheap and extremely poor compared to Mania 39. Now, you can fairly say that AEW hasn't been around as long, yet when you consider the resources at Tony Khan's disposal, you can't say anything other than this was a deliberate aesthetic choice. From where I sat, AEW could have easily sold another 10K tickets, and there were large gaps on the floor between the stands and the floor section. Yeah, I've seen pictures of that as well. The production team made a great effort to make the show look amazing on the hard cam and covered the swaths of empty space. So, Hairline, do you think there was 81,000?
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. I guess you got to accentuate the positives and yada, yada, 81,000. Yeah.
I believe it's 81,000. It's just like the arena can hold way more than that.
Yeah, because soccer can hold like 90 some. So if you can put
we've been
seats,
over this.
Yeah, if you can put seats on the pitch, then that means you're fitting 100K, So yeah, I bet you there was 20,000 empty seats, 80,000 people probably there. And then when Tony goes, probably around 90 with staff, probably more around like 80, 85,000, 80, in that range probably. But he's working the gimmick, brother. Live the life, man. You got to do it. Anyways, on to 0 hour. Grado. So there was a dark match. Grado versus Jeff Jarrett.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Grado. He was that Impact wrestler who was on the UK show, and he was a goofball. He's a comedy wrestler. So he came out and did a dark match, I guess, before the 0 hour. So Grado got a huge pop when he came out to squash Jeff Jarrett in a bit of a nothing match. He squashed Jarrett. Jesus. A little.
Okay. Oh, why would you fly out Jeff Jarrett just to job him out?
They don't care. A little inside baseball note. Very interesting. The AEW do not pull the ring canvas off between matches in the same way WWE do. For those wondering why it's a big deal, it's massively helpful in protecting against wrestlers contracting staph infections. I'm surprised he wrote it out. Staphylococcus infections. He wrote the shit. This guy's great. Paul Nolan, shout you out, brother. We should have him on the show too sometime, maybe just to talk.
He needs to do more reports.
Yeah, he asked. We could even get him to write because these are brilliant. I just really like this, But anyway, staph infections, and I'm surprised, given the money AEW is backed by, that they don't do the same and have a fresh canvas between matches. Do you want to know why, Paul? It's because AEW or Mark's like, no, but the blood will be on the canvas and it'll look cool for the main event, like in the Attitude Era. But that's what they say, is that WWE knows how many matches and are on previous, so they layer the ring with that many canvases, and then they strip them off before each match, right? When UFC used to be on Fox, they'd fucking spray the canvas with this weird stuff to clean it off in between fights, like this paint shit. It's crazy. Moving on to Better Than You, Bebe versus Aussie Open. It was an okay match, and the match itself wasn't as interesting as the result, with Adam and Mox going over. Aussie Open are okay at best, a serviceable team that perform okay, but I wouldn't put them on the level of, say, Gable or Otis in WWE to make a direct comparison. Holy shit, this guy gets it, man.
Wow.
MJF is the biggest star in the company by an absolute mile. The reactions he gets are massive. Frankly, he needs to think seriously about leaving when his contract's up in order to take his career to the next level. He's outgrowing AEW at the rate he's developing. No wonder Aubrey Edwards has a "Don't You Know Who I Am" complex, as her name was chanted as she made her. Oh God, fucking Marks.
Man.
There are parts of this experience as an objective. Yeah. As an objective observer that really do speak to the AEW echo chamber theory a lot of wrestling critics online speak to. It very much feels like I'm interloping in some sort of ritual sacrifice ceremony.
Yeah, no shit.
Jesus. As someone who both works in the music industry and has done consultancy for a large PA company, I can reliably tell you as a trained audio engineer, the PA in the stadium is fucking awful. That's why we couldn't hear the crowd at home. The lacks impact because the music of the entrance isn't quite cutting through. Another production screw up for Hook versus Jack Perry. The limo arrives and it's not even shown on the video screens. Within 1 minute, they're already fighting on the roof of the limo. Like, why? Surely you build to that spot. This guy broke down the matches like we would do. He's like, the fans gave up on this match pretty quickly. I'm not sure why Aubrey has gloves on. There's no blood. They played Jim Ross's theme and he didn't even come out. They finally stripped the ring canvas after 0 hour. Tons of Austin 316 shirts. It feels like people who want an Attitude Era back. The event is 100% not sold out. There are huge empty sections on the upper tiers opposite of me. He sent photos of the empty seats. He's like, there's also pockets of empty seats all over the stadium, even in my section where it's well populated. The seats next to and immediately in front of me are empty. Yeah, dude, I went to a Dynamite. I had a whole row to myself on the floor opposite of the stage. Like, you couldn't make that up. Punk versus Joe. He writes, the single most hilarious match I've ever seen live.
Samoa Joseph.
The fans have absolutely zero idea how much they're being worked by Punk. An extremely mixed reaction. Joe's super over. It's absolutely insanely hilarious that entire subsection of wrestling culture have decided entirely by themselves that they are the smart fan, have not worked out just how much they've been worked by Phil Brooks, Philip Brooks, and Samoan Joseph. A year after Brawl Out, they still haven't worked out that he's got them exactly where he wants them. He's a heat magnet. The wanker spot's incredible. Exactly. Yeah.
I was about to say it because like they don't understand wrestling psychology, but you know, he went and said it there. You know?
And Paul says, unbelievably entertaining how the crowd doesn't see that they're effectively the butt of their own joke. Thank you, CM Punk. Thank you, MJF. It's so true. And yeah, that's what I've been saying too, man. This guy
that's what you were saying.
This guy gets it, man. What the fuck? We're on the same wavelength, bro. Shout you out, bro.
It was clearly a P drone.
Yeah, man. A P drone, man. A brub from the UK. So the 6-man starts, complete chaos.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know why I should give a shit. Jay White's a megastar who's being woefully underutilized. He stands out along MJF. This match is where the choreography becomes more apparent. The entire audience applauding sequences of coordinated moves rather than being emotionally invested in actual wrestling match with a believable feel like Joe versus Punk. Yeah, there you go, man, right there. This is another example of how AEW gaslights its own audience. Juice Robinson is a rough diamond in the rough. Don Callis is the Dom of AEW, crazy heat. In the ring, so he just breaks it all down. He's just like, the PA absolutely sucks. He's like, yeah, he said Don Callis is a heat magnet like Dom. Like, he gets the boot, he gets booed, he's not allowed to talk. You know, he's got heat.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bucks versus FTR. Interestingly, there were some boos for the Bucks as they came out. Here's the thing, man. The Bucks got heat too along with Punk. Like, they got, because here's the thing, people were super uninterested in them before, and then when they got in the brawl with Punk, people were interested in them, and then they didn't do anything with it. They pretended like it didn't happen, and then everyone just got uninterested with them. They don't understand that the Punk fans, you had heat with them, and you could have went and made money with that and got heat with everyone else. But instead, man, you guys are just too interested in doing your own thing. but they did put FTR over, thank fuck. So anyways, I'm sorry, but they really do look like a Rockers tribute act here. The reaction isn't rabid. It's certainly not negative, but it's not huge. FTR got a much bigger reception.
No,
that's what I said.
They were supposed to be Freddie Mercury. That's what they were doing.
Oh, like Emi
Sakamura?
Like Emi Sakamura.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, I do that first."
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you stole my gimmick." As the show progressed, you get a feeling it's just washing over the crowd who are just happy to be here. The funniest chant was "Na na na na."
Out of their mom's basement.
Wheeler's got a gun. FTR clearly more over than the Bucks. Nick Jackson does a dive to mid-size. So far, Bucks is running the crowd flat. Feels like Toni front loaded the card. Spike pile driver should have won it. He's going over the spots. FTR wins the right decision. They're decisively more over. Exactly. Stadium Stampede. Pyro for Orange Cassidy, the first of any talent on the card. Confirms Toni loves the guy. Fuck my life. This match is a fucking joke. Can't see a fucking thing, and the camera keeps cutting every 5 seconds to the big screen, and it's almost impossible to follow the action. The amount of tape Cassidy's wearing means he's clearly working with a significant injury. I can't help but feel sorry for Claudio in this. What an epic waste of talent. This match is a fucking shit show. This match is not working. There's about 5 things going on at once, and I have no idea what's going on or where the fuck to look. This is not focal point. Video screens in the arena use split screens for the fights in the back, and I literally couldn't give less of a shit. Genuine question. What's the difference between Anarchy in the arena and Stadium Stampede? I have zero idea. Exactly. Fox has something hanging out of his head, and the crowd has officially hit ECW mark level. I feel nauseous. Eddie and Claudio are doing spots that nobody can see dangerously for a crowd who doesn't care. This is depressing and quite possibly one of the worst matches I've ever seen live. The crowd are literally waiting for wrestlers to do their signature shit so they can pop. Crowd chants "you sick fuck" at Moxley like it's a good thing. They've gotten quite bloodthirsty. I'm rapidly losing the will to live. None of this makes any sense. Wheeler and Eddie are somewhere in the stadium. No idea where they are, what they're doing. Some cunt starts chanting, "We want tape." Eddie, really?
Dumb cunts.
Eddie and really useless do a merch stand spot to absolutely no pop. Even the true believers are having a hard time working out what the fuck is going on. It actually is the worst match I've ever seen live. Send help. An alarming amount of people are going to the bathroom and the bar.
Help.
The bloodthirsty marks are having a ball, and I think I've just been sick. Santana stabs Cassidy, and I feel sick again. This match is a total mess. There's 80K people around me trying to convince themselves it's good. Whole stadium chants for tables. Biggest pop of the match is Trent's mother in a van. Thankfully, Penta turned up, puts Claudio through a table, and people chant, "Holy shit!" He writes, "I genuinely want my money back." He writes, "I genuinely want my money back." He wrote, "It's a miracle Aubrey hasn't inserted herself into proceedings as of yet." He writes, "Claudio breaks up a pin, and I wonder why he bothered."
No shit, though.
This is legend. God, I'm literally crying. He writes, "Orange gets the pin and a part of my soul just shriveled up in a corner and died. I have no idea what I've just witnessed or why I paid 60 pounds or 60, I think it's 60 pounds to watch it live. This will be the best, worst wrestling match I've ever witnessed. Utter dog shit." Okay, women's fatal 4-way. I can't help but thinking every one of these women should be in WWE. For some reason, Toni Storm came out to the British national anthem, but she's from New Zealand. He wrote, "Britt Baker gets pyro. It's rapidly becoming clear that those who get pyro are Toni's favorites."
Yeah. That's always been it.
Saraya wins, having done almost nothing in the match, being heavily protected for home. Yeah. So he's got the Coffin Match. He writes, "Darby and Sting's entrance were the best of the night. Darby's clearly the biggest star in AEW next to MJF. Christian Cage is an all-time great who gets to break a sweat. Skater Boy said,
Darby's okay.
Boy. He just wrote, Darby's going to paralyze himself one day. He wrote, this is the best and worst of AEW. I don't know. He kind of puts this over. He put this over. God only knows how much Tony's paying musical clearance fees with the fucking Metallica Seek and Destroy. That's probably why he didn't have a better song for the overall pay-per-view. That's what I was thinking as I watched it. But yeah, he just basically puts that match over. Good shit. Jericho versus Ospreay. Jericho doing the Freddie Mercury at Live Aid spot. Good Lord, the ego. Dude, I know. Good Lord, the ego to even do that.
Hold on.
He wrote fair play. Jericho's entrance was huge. He wrote Ospreay is a mega star.
All right.
Only if he goes to WWE. He needs someone to mold him like a Shawn Michaels.
He brought it back.
This should be a torch passing moment. Jericho's chest looked like a safe fell on him corner first. this motherfucker. Oh, that's shit. Safe. MJF and Ospreay will headline WrestleMania 2027 if they make the right decisions in their careers. Yeah. Only this and Punk match feel like big fights. I agree. Go figure. The only singles matches. Ospreay is carrying this match. Absolutely, we knew that. A star-making performance, and then he just writes as a side note, 81,035 is a lie, as the stadium isn't sold out, and WrestleMania 39 did more. Night 2, 81.5K. So there you go. And he was there. The House of Black were bathed in pure brilliant white for some reason. The Acclaimed are still super over. Yeah. No, this is what he wrote. No holds barred match. Lazy booking. The scissor.
One of us.
Yeah. Camera cuts to Mercedes Moné and she looks bored shitless. Daddy ass is the most over. Tony's favorites get pyro again. MJF versus Cole. MJF's a massive star. Cole is the perfect foil. Brilliant how they work. The respect angle. MJF managed to turn babyface without Cole fully turning heel. Made the whole thing meaningful. Exactly is what I said. Genius work. Exactly. The two of them have insane chemistry. Yes, they do. The t-shirt angle is a great way to get the camaraderie over. Exactly. This guy gets it. MJF is a Hall of Famer waiting to happen. People hate me for saying this, but he has to go to WWE. I agree. No, we don't hate you. We love you. We love this report, and we love you, and we want you to continue.
Listen, hold on.
Yeah.
All of the report was fucking awesome besides the fucking Jericho shit.
He put over the entrance. He said it was brilliant, and he put over the match. So, announce table didn't break for the tombstone, which, by the way, is a
Jericho's one of the most. Chris Jericho is one of the most humble people in all of sports entertainment. Continue.
We're making shirts that say "No one loves Jericho more than Jericho" and hairline. Announce table didn't break for the tombstone spot, which, by the way, is a very WWE spot, especially in a title match main event. As the match has gone on, MJF is clearly the bigger babyface. I hate these yay boo spots, especially when they're kneeling down. Not as keen on the Canadian Destroyer spot as 99.9% of the crowd. So the crowd popped.
Because it's dumb.
Yeah, I know. You called that out too. A double pin nonsense. The crowd calls BS. Excellent spot to restart the match. Brilliantly played. Ref bump because, of course, yes, because Bryce Remsburg, bro. MJF is on the joke. Eddie spots are brilliant, if a little goofy. Great looking German from Cole on the apron. Yeah, the Panama Sunrise is just daft. Here comes the Pinky of Doom. The crowd beckons the babyface to cheat. He refuses. Roderick Strong comes out. Do we only have one ref in the building? Visual pinfall a la Roman Reigns. So yeah, they did the Roman Reigns. The most predictable near pinfall of all time. Miz wears a neck brace better than anyone else. Brings up the Miz. Oh shit. Cole holds the belt and Strong screws him over, which makes no sense. MJF wins the most devastating move in sports entertainment. Of course, the most anti-WWE event of all time ends with a surprise roll-up. Cole rejects the offer of friendship, but eventually relents and hugs it out with MJF. A different end and one I enjoyed. A good, not great, but fun event which showcased the best and worst of AEW all at once. That's exactly what I said. I feel like I've been to Wonderland and come through the other side of the looking glass for some weird cultural gathering. Same again next year, apparently. Shrug. Thanks. Shout out Paul Nolan. Shout out Paul Nolan Sound at Instagram. Check him out. We might have him on the show, or we'll just get him to write these brilliant. I was literally crying. Yeah. It was great. So apparently it came off on TV the same way it came off live.
Yeah, pretty much. Man, Jeff Jarrett jobbing. What a fucking tragedy.
Speaking in the press conference, we're going to get into that here for you guys. But first, I just wanted to play the audio of Tony Khan just losing his fucking shit. Let's see this. So this is after All In goes off the air.
In 1 year, bank holiday weekend, August 25th of 2024. All In right here. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes.
I love his energy. Can you yelling at
I will see you all in 1 year.
Look at
Bank holiday weekend, August 25th of 2024. All in right here. Let's go. I will see.
Man, and I heard he was the guy. There's a rumor he was the guy in the chainsaw outfit, too, man. And I just think that is fucking hilarious, dude. Tony Khan, man. I love him. You gotta love that guy, man. Honestly,
geek,
like,
bro. He's so geek.
oh my god. So, guys, Hairline brought up the whatever. This the press conference. Dude, he's so hyped, man. Like, could you imagine Vince doing that? Jesus Christ.
I want to imagine doing cocaine with Tony Khan.
Yeah, dude,
bro.
me too, dude.
Yeah.
My goodness, it'd be a time, man. It'd be a time. So, Hairline brought up the press
He'd be
conference,
like,
guys.
He'd do his rail. What's your favorite ECW match? Damn it.
Dude, I'd be able to geek out with him over that shit for a long time. Anywho.
Oh, dude, I hold on, my bad. On that topic, real quick, I feel like I could probably fucking talk to Tony Khan for hours.
Yeah, dude. I think we'd be friends, honestly. That's why I cut out the Tony Khan hate. We never really hated on him. He kind of became Mickey Mouse. Oh, it'll be great. You know, so I don't know. I've always had love for him, man. I just want the best for AEW, and then I can't help but be cynical and entertaining because I have a fucking podcast. Don't tell anybody. So yeah, ultimately though, I love AEW and I'm passionate about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here spending my time doing this shit. You know what I mean? I'd fucking.
That's just your opinion of AEW, you know.
Right.
But
Hairline.
as your co-host, I support all of it. You know.
Right. So
Jesus.
The press conference. The media scrum. Let's hit play. First off, Hairline. Tony Khan hits us.
God, we're gonna pop. Yeah,
shout out Tony Khan because he listens to the show. It's confirmed, and yeah, shout him out for listening to the show, brother. Yeah. So here's Tony Khan. This is how he opens the All In media scrum. It's great.
This is great. You can't beat this, guys. There's no better warm up in the business.
He said this is great, dude. So
this is great. You can't beat this, guys. There's no better warm up in the business.
Let's go. Let's get going. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate all that.
Get ready.
So Eddie Kingston's out there drinking a soda, and yeah, he was 39 minutes late to the fucking. Now I'm not hating on that. He's probably celebrating, popping this and that. This video for the media scrum was actually age restricted for some reason. I am logged into our YouTube as well.
MJF.
Right, so it must be language wise. That's crazy if they're gonna start doing that. Either way,
that's the world we live in, bro.
Right. So I have I have some timestamps here. Hairline. We're gonna play through some of this, and you guys are getting the exclusive here.
Hey, everybody!
He just yelled "New Japan Strong Champion."
It's great to see you all.
I love
today
wrestling.
Is the most successful day in the history of AEW. It's one of the most important days ever in pro wrestling. I can't wait to talk to you about tonight's show. I had a couple notes. A lot of you know I've lived in London. London is a home to me. It's a home to Fulham Football Club.
Bro, how's he that wired?
It's become a home to the Jaguars every year.
After this long night and day of working, he's so wired. Like, how the fuck, man? That's Adderall. It's gotta be. That's what I mean.
He's got a
soda water.
He's got a soda water. Woo! He's listening.
The home of the Jacksonville Jaguars is Jacksonville. The original home of AEW is Jacksonville. And one of my homes, I live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Sorry, he talks about a tragedy as well that happened in Jacksonville. Shout out Jacksonville and praying for all of you guys. I don't want to get into any of that. Here, let's get into MJF comes out. So here's MJF at the AEW London press conference.
Fucking clap. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, clap for him. Oh, there's Xenia. Does that?
Oh my God. I'm not gonna hug you, but
I'll take that. I'll take it. Everybody else. That's progress.
oh, okay. I guess it is progress. Okay. Here's the deal. I was just in the biggest main event in the history of professional wrestling. This
Toni
very hyper. God, my neck fucking hurts. This is a very hyperbolic sport filled with hyperbolic bullshit people that will make claims like that. For crying out loud, Hulk Hogan, I think, recently said that he was in Japan and America on the same day somehow. Great guy. I can say that earnestly and honestly to you guys. And it's not hyperbole. And the fact that I can say
brother.
Feels right.
Prove I wasn't, brother.
Just an alternative. We are a gang
30 hours,
of fucking misfit toys of guys that should have been, never was, guys that should never be in the position that we're in today. And yeah, sometimes we don't get along. Newsflash. I'm sure you motherfuckers got people at work you want to fucking headbutt in the mouth. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, we are misfits. But guess what? We come together and we put on the best fucking professional wrestling shows this world has ever fucking seen. And I put my fucking name on that. You want to know why I put my name on that? Because I'm ready to step the fuck up. I'm ready to be the face of this company. I'm ready to be the face of the mayhem of the misfits. As long as this motherfucker ponies up the money. But that is
so I just want to say shout out.
Yeah.
I just want to say here quickly, fucking shout out to MJF for listening to the pod and clearly doing the Billy Body's fucking co-host spot. You know, fuck yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe you made me pause it for that. I was gonna pause after his little thing, his little rant here, but
it's neither here nor there. That is neither here nor there.
Okay. So yeah, that's he brought up something important though, you know, and this really clicked with me. He's like, you know, yeah, we don't get along, but we do come together to try and do good shit, and that's the one thing you and I will never shit on AEW, man. It's listen on our show, on our last show, we just shit all over WWE on a lot of it, like the damage control stuff and everything. And my whole thing is just like, listen, man, we're gonna put over and mark out about what we like. We're gonna shit on what we don't like. We're gonna be crazy. It's a goddamn show for entertainment for people to listen to.
Shitting on damage control. First off, we weren't shitting on damage control. We're shitting on Charlotte and the fucking the Bianca Belair stupid fucking booking, and like we're watching a fucking not at you team go over on an actual fucking take.
Right, but all I'm getting at is fucking we be entertaining for the sake of the show and just to pop each other and just, you know, this is just our conversations, man, for real, you know. We love everyone in the goddamn business. We have respect to anyone who steps in the rope, in the octagon, in the ring. You know, respect anyone who does that. That being said, he brought up just a really good point that really just it was like, man, they did do something really special tonight. Like, no matter what you say, no matter how goofy some of the matches were, you can't take it away. Now, do they hopefully pop a big rating after the show? Yes, I hope they really do. I was going to talk to you about that later. Like, you know, do you think they pop a big rating on Wednesday because of this accomplishment? I don't know, maybe Adam Cole and MJF, but it's like, you know, the bloodline has proved, and not to compare it to WWE, but we got to, because they're comparing it. This whole press conference is them going pretty much, we're bigger than WWE. So we have to compare it. And it's just like, will this pop a big rating? Will this get everyone invested in it? That's to be seen. But I don't know. I think MJF brought up a really good point there, you know?
I just think it was he was doing the Billy Body spot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Proud of not only me, because that was like a fucking sick main event and I'm awesome and I won, but I am proud of every single ditzy weirdo fucking nut job motherfucker in that locker room, because like I said, we might not get along, we might not be fucking picture perfect and squeaky clean, but we put on fucking shows of a lifetime. and I couldn't be proud.
He really shows his age, but
so
like these fucking.
That's all I wanted to say off the
saying fucking every fucking word.
Let's have questions for the champ.
That's all you really are, just
yes,
24-year-old, huh?
Bald man. No, fuck you. I just pointed at that guy. You go second. Hand him a mic. What do you think? You run this place?
Thank you. Luke Owen, WrestleTalk.
Yeah.
Luke Owen,
great main
WrestleTalk.
event. Congratulations.
I
on
know
the
I
win.
was in it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Can we clap again? Like one more time? Thank you. Yeah, it was that good. God, my neck.
Do you love your mother?
Fuck, that is a loaded question.
Yeah,
I like the other guy's accent better, but I'm gonna let it slide.
He's got better accent. He's definitely got better
Adam
accent.
Cole comes
I know
out.
how hard you've.
Oh,
What a classic match.
Hey,
Ladies
my
and
neck's
gentlemen.
pretty sore too.
I know. We're both pieces of shit. We were trying to win.
It's like that dude's such a cuss.
Both halves of the
MJF
biggest main event in pro wrestling history.
What's that?
I said that guy was such a cuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, MJF and Adam Cole.
He just left MJF.
Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions.
I would have been like, no, fuck that.
Whoever thought I'd be in Ring of Honor? But no, it's cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You
you.
dragged me into it. You dragged me into it.
Nobody,
dude.
Questions?
And now
When
Tony.
you guys were approached about having two matches, opening and closing the show, what goes through your mind?
I vomited in my mouth. I'll let Cole take it from here.
It's a combination of a couple of things. First of all, again, being involved in a show like All In.
Here, this is what I wanted to. That was a funny question, but this is what I wanted to get to, guys. Tony Khan talking to Adam Cole basically about his injury, his recovery, his comeback.
There's this
Yeah.
deep-rooted feeling of
The money
satisfaction that I have
I
right
believe
now
so.
of being able to have done that. And I will never, ever forget this night. I think it's the happiest I've ever been, like after a match.
If I can just speak as his friend, watching you come back from what you came back from, there are a lot of people that would have just quit. And I respect you immensely, not just as a friend, not just as a man, but as a professional wrestler. There are so many people that would have just been like, well, no, I'm done. And you didn't. And now look at you, dude.
He came back purely for the love of the game. This man was not, I think it's fair to say this wasn't money motivated or greed motivated, because if you don't mind me saying, I think it's fair to say I would have paid you every fucking dime, even if you never stepped in the ring again. And that's what I told you. I wanted you to feel no pressure to step into this ring and put your safety at stake. And I wanted you to know you were getting every fucking dime of that contract. I'm sorry. And you came back because you love pro wrestling and you wanted to be here. And that's what makes this so special. Thank you.
Dude, he's
Thank
such
you.
a
And that's
dork.
what makes him special. He's a fucking.
Yeah, but god damn it, man. He's literally, this is what's crazy. He's so respectful of these guys, and he's such a fan of them. And he's trying really hard to be this. He just doesn't fit in wrestling. I know you know, but listen, I don't know, man. He kind of won me over. He just goddamn cares about these guys. He just wants them to know, look, man, I'll just give you a place to be you. You know, and if we make some money, word, but guess what? I have $1 billion and I'm going to spend it on my friends. And I know people are like, you can't buy friends, Tony, but maybe you can.
I beg to differ. Look at Saraya.
Yeah,
You bought Saraya, dog.
yeah, her shit was so cut and paste Barbie, whatever. But hairline like that is really
She was
special.
Like, we have a great locker room. We all get along.
Listen, we're gonna get to that pretty
Vince.
soon here, but it's kind of gross that Tony Khan would be like, if you don't mind me saying, and then he just says, I will pay. Like, that's some like behind the scenes shit. You shouldn't really need this. Like, you know, WWE pays for people's treatment and they don't do a fucking, and a lot of wrestlers come out and go, man, if it wasn't for they paid for, like Scott Hall's like, they paid for my treatment 5 times, even when I wasn't in their company, you know? And it's just like that, it goes without saying. So Tony Khan, though, had to put that out there. It's kind of weird, but it's like he just doesn't know it. He's like a Steve Jobs. He's like one of these Mark Zuckerbergs. He's like a reptilian in skin or whatever they say, a cyborg.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's trying to be normal, but he can't. He doesn't know how to, his brain is like, he's probably super intelligent and shit. He just loves to party. Apparently he loves to party. Can you blame him? He's a rich billionaire kid. Listen, because this is what I thought about in my brain. If I had, okay, let's say that my dad was worth 10 billion or whatever he is, and let's say that I'm worth
fantasy Mark Tony.
Yeah, dude, and let's say I'm fucking worth 3 to 6 billion or whatever Tony's worth, and then let's say that our family's worth this much. If that was me, I'm such a mark. Would I not drop $1 billion on? Fuck it, I'll put $1 billion up and do a wrestling pro company. I'd fucking do it too. You know what I mean? Now, would I go on TV on Adderall and shit? No, but no, personally, I'd stay off TV. Personally, I wouldn't be on TV. Like maybe if it ever called for it, but I would try and stay out of it as much as possible. I just want to. Can I play you some Orange Cassidy? Now, this really made me just not like Orange Cassidy more than I already kind of don't. I went, oh shit. He ain't even working the gimmick. Like he likes to go up there and give these interviews, but he don't even do it in a way that makes me like, it's like, I thought you didn't care. But then he's like, if I may, and like starts talking. Can I explain it? Like, I thought you didn't care. Like, don't explain anything. Whatever, I get it. Oh, it's a work. Why are you da-da-da? But it's just, look at MJF and then look at this. That's what I mean. Look at fucking Roman Reigns, the rare times he does a press conference, even Cody Rhodes. But look at this, you know? Do I have an Orange Cassidy tee? Yes, I absolutely do. Have I popped for the gimmick? Yes. Should he be international champion? No. Should he be pushed the way he's pushed? I really don't think so. I'm not saying he should be a jobber, but I think he should job to the upper guys, but then be like go toe to toe with the mid lower guys. You know, I don't know. Is that wrong of me to think? We all have our subjective opinions.
I don't think he should. All I'll say is I definitely don't think he should be wrapping his hand up in glass.
Like
fucking knocking out Cesaro.
That's what I mean. And did you see how Cesaro like was keeping his shoulders up and Cassidy was really had to wrench him down? Did you see that? Watch the match back. Bro, Cesaro was not trying to sell that shit. I don't think he's about it. I don't think Cesaro's about it over there. Yeah, I think he goes back to WWE when his contract's up. Anyways, though, so Orange comes out, and let's just give you a taste, a daddy magic taste of what Orange Cassidy was all about.
Hello.
No. Where does it say?
I mean, at least Orange Cassidy's wearing bandages and shit. Moxley wouldn't be wearing a bandage.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So
what are those for? I've never used those once in my life.
Bandages aren't.
I'll bleed through this hotel couch.
Ooh, enough for me.
You couldn't help yourself. Yeah.
I wear my shoes with different color laces, and I only put my backpack over one shoulder because I'm cool.
Jack Atkins, Cultaholic.com. Orange, congratulations.
Cultaholic.
Very hard fought victory tonight.
There's your boys.
Obviously,
there's your boys.
Being very cool, calm, and collected.
I was trying to get a job.
Are you excited to be wrestling at an event as huge as this?
Yeah. I mean, that was crazy. Right? I felt it. I think we all felt it. But I've been thinking about this match for a while, obviously, because of how personal it was for me and Chuck and Trent.
What?
And I think I was really laser focused on that. And then I got beat up so much I couldn't remember anything else. So there you go.
Hi guys, great show, by the way, amazing show.
He's trying to keep kayfabe, and I do respect that about him. I don't know. It's just, this is not. That he's at least that he's at least trying to keep kayfabe. I do respect it, man. He should. I just feel like that international belt. I look at it; it's a beautiful title. It should just not be in his backpack. It should be fucking somewhere on display on a reel, like a Jay White or something. I've said it 10 billion times. Anyways,
great. Why isn't Jay White that champion?
Bro,
fucking man.
You have Ethan, you have Ethan Page, you have Jay White, you have Pentagon and
Finesse. Bang guy.
Dude, you have guys from all over the world, and Tony Khan makes that point over here. Now I want to play this where Pentagon comes out and challenges fucking Orange because it's so cringe, and it's Herb Abrahams. Yeah. Herb Abrahams. Someone did a side-by-side on fucking, and it's so bad. But Tony tries to get over the fact, like, look, Penta's an international star, and I'm like, exactly. You have this belt on an American. You could have Ethan Page is from Canada, Jay White's from New Zealand. You have fucking Will Ospreay's coming in. You have fucking you could put this belt on Ospreay and have him go defend it all internationally where he's been all this time. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is if you want to do this, Tony, it's great. But why not the TNT title? Put it on Orange, or Orange doesn't care about anything. He could be the fuck the world champion because fuck it. Fuck it. And he could just be doing this shit. Give him whatever belt.
Give him the Leatherface.
Yeah, give him the Texas Chainsaw belt and let him hold on to it for 40 years. No one gives a fuck about any of those other belts, dude. But this belt, man.
Well, it's just like, dude, here's like my bad, sorry to cut you off, but like, here's the biggest thing, bro, is like in the record books for the longest time, it's going to say the most title defenses ever for AEW titles can be Orange Cassidy.
And right, and people will go, well, the IC belt was the honky tonk man, right? But if WWE, now we're not taking anything away from honky tonk, but if you don't think they could take that era, that little time away and have done something better and made more money, and Ultimate Warrior could have been kept tame and all that sort of shit during that time, you don't think they would have did that either? All I'm fucking saying is like, yes, but now Gunther is exactly breaking honky tonk shit, and I don't know, that's history, man. Like, there's a time and a place for things, and no one's gonna go, do you remember Orange Cassidy's historic reign? No one said that about honky tonks, but people will say that about Gunther's. And you're a new company, you had the opportunity to like Bruno Sammartino this belt with someone, or have various international stars hang on to it, not saying flip it around, but you got Takeshita, you got Jay White, you got fucking Ospreay, or Pac, you got all these different international stars. It's just really, I've harped on this every show, but it's crazy to me. So basically, this is what happens.
Stadium Stampede mode go live, and it felt like
wait a minute, and then Toni gets asked about something, and then he goes off about how the video game is like one of their biggest accomplishments. So let's listen to that first, and then he introduces Penta.
I don't know who's next.
You mean Batches?
I will, and we'll
I'm pretty sure
that'll
question...
be. How about I save that for last?
Well, it's like, dude,
great. I can't wait.
Asking Orange questions, and the Toni was answered.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
Toni, Stephanie Cheers from Digital Spy. As you're saying, Orange, you didn't defend the international championship here, and I was wondering if you had any plans to make the title tour more like it did. I mean, I saw Pac defend it once in Rev Pro. Is that something you'd like to get back to?
It was also kind of convenient because Pac lives here.
Yes.
So it was easier for him to defend the belt in his home country where he lived.
Exactly, Toni. Oh, who would have ever thought of that? Who would have ever thought of that before? So let's put a UK guy on it, have him tour around the indies there, build up that territory, and then you have an Aussie guy take it, and he goes builds up that. Then you have Takeshita take it, and then he goes builds around. Oh, who would have thought of that, man? Oh yeah, the US based guy's your international champion. Like, you know what I mean, dude? Holy, and he's trying to explain it like matter of factly, like, oh, well, actually, it was convenient then, and that's actually why it happened. Well, why the fuck would you do the longest reign on a guy? You could have built up they could have used this international belt to build up this territory for a year leading up to Wembley, and then you could have fucking had it on a UK guy, and then he defends it or loses it here. The international title. How the fuck didn't you think of this? It's crazy. It's actually insane to me.
Wasn't this asked to Orange too? Like he's answering Orange's questions.
Right. I think she did direct this one at Toni, but listen.
And of course defended it in Canada. I think tonight
he defended it in Canada and New Japan. Okay, great. But like, you could have built up to this for months. Like, you could have had a guy in Japan defending it up to your New Japan show, and then a little while after, someone could have been defending it in UK, building up your UK show. Whatever, man. It's just, to me, it's wild, and it's crazy no one's pitching this shit, especially when you don't have a developmental system. Anyways,
I wanted to bring Wembley Stadium, the first ever Wembley Stadium Stampede, which is a signature AEW match. Also really great timing for us because tonight was the biggest event in the history of the company. Tonight was the biggest project in the history of the company. Tonight was the biggest success in the history of the company. Everything we did here at AEW All In, this is the biggest thing we've ever done. Probably the second biggest project in the history of the company is AEW Fight Forever. And a major milestone for us this week was we had AEW Fight Forever Stadium Stampede mode go live. And it felt like a really exciting activation and a really exciting way to bring AEW to Wembley Stadium, get people excited about a new combat mode, battle royale style fighting in AEW Fight Forever.
Pretty cool.
And also, it's just like the wildest, coolest thing we could do. Like, I've had one of the greatest moments of my life in the Royal Box and celebrated the English Football League playoff win over Aston Villa in 2018
Good.
in the Royal Box. And tonight I got to watch some of my favorite wrestlers in the world bleed all over the Royal Box. And that was pretty cool too. Very different than what we did up there, Carmelo.
Jesus. I don't
You're
know,
torturing me, dude.
I'm sorry. So Penta comes out. Look at this. Here's the face off. Look at Tony.
Yeah, look at Tony. Look at Tony.
Why would they do this here? Oh my gosh. It's so weird, guys. Oh my goodness. So then he drones on with Cassidy for a bit. Takeshita and fucking Callis come out. So here's how Tony Khan greets Takeshita, and this is what I mean, dude. Look at how he greets Takeshita, man. He's like real done business in Japan. I respect this, bro. He's a fucking wheeler. You touched the sun, Domo.
Good.
You're trying to get a
Listen, good, very good. Listen to this.
The back.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Takeshita-san, Domo.
Takeshita-san. Listen.
Genki desu ka?
Genki desu ka?
Good. Very good.
Very good.
Do itashimashite. And
oh, dude, he loves Japanese wrestling. Dude, I love Tony Khan.
I love
man.
when he says bye to him.
I love Tony Khan, bro. I love him.
Can you go to where he says bye to him?
Lucan from WrestleTalk. Don, you told us on WrestleTalk a few years ago that you think that Will Ospreay really needs to change.
So Callis goes in. He says, I'm not building a faction. I'm building a family. And then, so here's where he says goodbye to Takeshita. It's hilarious.
You see if you run into me in an airport. So I don't need music.
Yeah,
don't want
basically
music.
I
want to come out. People can do whatever they want. I hear.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
they get up to leave.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Why is he saying it in the microphone? Wait, dude. So Tony goes back and he says it. Domo arigatou. He says it as he's standing up in the mic, like he wants the people to hear that he knows how to be like Takeshita-san, Domo arigatou. And this is why I feel like he's like a nerdy kid trying to fit in, dude. And like I wanted to fit in too. And I thought I did stuff that was cool and it was really dumb. And he might just be that way, So I don't hate him. Let's check it out again. I love this.
Thank you, Don.
He's a national treasure.
Takeshita-san. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
What is going on?
He bows down to respond to Takeshita into the microphone after he's already standing up so that the people hear that he can speak Japanese to Takeshita. It's so cute, dude. He loves Takeshita so much. I love Takeshita too, Tony. I love you, dog.
Look at Don. He's trying to get out of it.
Dude, I love AEW again, bro. It's so sweet and happy. Dude, I love that. That was so cute and adorable. He's bowing down to Takeshita-san. Dude.
Takeshita-san. Yeah, that's what we gotta call him that.
Oh, that's his name, bro. What do you mean?
Good job.
Good luck. You asked for it.
Bow to.
Oh my gosh, that was great. That was wonderful. Okay, now Paige comes out, and now, Saraya, and Saraya from the jump just does this. She's just like putting Tony over. This is like rehearsed responding to Lufisto. And right before we went on air, I saw Cafe du Rene. They have Lufisto on live there. This is like, because listen, she's like, this is the best, most supportive locker room, and and Tony So she's just knows how to make this guy feel like $1 million and get that money, honey. But fucking Tony gets to roll. I don't know, man. Fuck it. He gets to roll around with the Huh?
Women are manipulative.
Yeah, bro. It's not. This ain't no shock to me. This ain't new. So, but no, shout out Saraya though, because I do, honest to fucking God, I love her and I put her over all the time.
Hello. Everyone's very quiet in here. Why is this so awkward? Come on, England. You're better than this. All right.
They're all just like, because we've seen you naked. Just kidding.
That's
what I mean. We're no better. I'm gonna pop jokes about it too. I can't. Yeah, anyway.
What do we have? Do we have some questions?
Here we are.
Yeah. Right.
30 seconds later.
Scott Felstead, Muscle and Fitness. Great to see you back on top where you belong.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about your story and just what an amazing night this must be for you? And also all the kind of physical rehabilitation that you'll have had to have gone through and getting back in the ring.
Yeah.
Just give us a flavour for how you're feeling.
Yeah. I'm not just going to say it just because he's alongside me, but you have no idea how much he's helped me in my comeback and just
bro.
I'm not gonna say this just because he's sitting beside me. Okay, if you had to say that, then that's why you're saying it. Here we go.
believing in me and being like, listen, we're going to go look at your neck and we're going to see it. And if it's 100%, then I'm backing you 100%, you know, and it was just wonderful. And, you know, he didn't give me this straight away, you know, and I'm thankful for that because we got to tell stories and have fun and do outcasts. And it's the most fun I've ever had. Like me, Toni, and Ruby together. We have a great time and we're enjoying it every single week. And we love everything that he's been doing for us. And it's just absolutely incredible. And I'm appreciative, you know, that I got this moment here in the UK. And it's awesome having my whole family here. Like, you know, got Queen and everything. I was like, bloody hell. But yeah, it was just really, really cool. And just the process of it, I never thought I was ever going to wrestle again. That was it. They said, you will never wrestle again. WWE cut ties with any kind of doctors and was like, we're not going to check you anymore. So I was kind of in limbo for 5 years. And I never kind of hit rock bottom with it, with no pun intended for the wrestling fans in here, but I never like hit rock bottom with it. I kept in a very positive mindset. And so, you know, when I got the call from Toni, he was just like, let's fucking go. Let's try this. Let's go do, you know, he was like,
it'll be great. Let's fucking go. It'll be great. I'm going to feel,
you know? And so, yeah, I started training more, getting in the gym. I was working out every single day. I started watching AEW religiously every single day. I was like, this is so cool. And I already wanted to be a part of it so bad ever since it started anyway. But yeah, it's just been a crazy journey. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I would be in Wembley Stadium in the biggest crowd in wrestling history. I mean, it's just a dream come true, and I'm so thankful. And thank you, Toni. So
thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. You earned it, champ.
You. Thank you.
It's 1 year in the making since you came.
And also, when I get back to America, I'm going to start talking some crap. So, not on you.
So, yeah, Saraya just knows how to stroke this guy's fucking ego, hey? She starts going and, like, defending the fucking women's locker room.
Let's get a bit of Norfolk love.
Just out of nowhere.
How are you?
Yeah, well, I've got to ask about your family because that was an incredible moment. Everyone watching, and we've had loads of texts into the BBC and what have you saying how much.
And she kind of shits on WWE here, people are saying, but I don't really take it like that. But Hairline, you kind of feel different.
No, she is.
Was loving it. How good was that to have mum, dad, cousins, nephews, brothers?
Well, they were never given the opportunity in the past to be showcased ever. Like they were never acknowledged, and I wasn't allowed to acknowledge them until the movie came out, and then it was kind of, I was allowed to. But the thing is that Toni again didn't even question it. He was just like, "Let's fucking go!" Yeah, we can have your family. And they appreciated it so much, and my dad was so emotional. My dad's not a crier; he's a very rough around the edges kind of guy. You know, missing teeth because of all the fighting back in the day. You know how he is. But he was crying his eyes out in the ring, and it was just such a special moment to be around my family. And yeah, they loved every single second of it. My nephew's in here still, I think. Is he not? Well, he wasn't here. Yeah. Ricky Knight Jr. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he's an incredible wrestler. He just wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. this weekend at Rev Pro. He's going to.
Okay. So at some point she goes in about the locker room here.
You want to be able to stay humble enough for people to want to continue to work with you and, you know, get good jobs and have like, end up with a great boss, you know, but also stay hungry. You don't want to ever get complacent. And that's something that I never stopped doing. So even when I lost my wrestling career completely, I never in my head thought it was never going to happen again. I constantly was striving to try and get back in the ring, whether it was going to take 5 years, which was great, or 10 or 20 or however many years was. You see me 50 years old and get back in the ring. I was always trying to like get back in there. So yeah, I would say patient, stay humble, hungry, and save your money. That's important. Save your money. 100% ready to go. My confidence is really back with my attitude, my character. And again, I'm having so much fun with it that, I mean, I feel like I can go in there and do whatever. Sometimes it's the goals that have to hold me back because I want to do 100 million things. And they're just like, we'll take it easy, you know, and I'm ready. I'm 100% ready. The doctor said I was 100%. My neck is at 100%. I asked them, when I went there for my neck, is there any way that I could be paralyzed in any way, shape, or form? And he said, no, your neck is perfectly fine. Okay. And if you have aches and pains, that's normal when you're a wrestler. But I can take a step aside, and AEW is really great with their talent. If they are sore or banged up, they're like, take it off and, you know, bring it back next week or something. So it's really cool to have the support of AEW and Toni.
The doctor didn't say that.
And the support of the women in the locker room.
You're immune to paralyzed.
So it's really cool to have the support of AEW and Toni,
watch Toni,
and the support of the women in the locker room because every single one of them are so amazing. And That's one of the best locker rooms I've ever been in my life. And every time I'm there, every week, it's always very, very supportive, and everyone's genuinely happy for each other. For whatever we do, we're very happy for each other. But yes, I'm ready. Long-winded, but I'm ready for more singles.
I don't know. That seems. I don't know. You're
big or something. So it's really cool to have the support of AEW and Tony, you know, and the support of the women in the locker room, because every single one of them are so amazing. And that's one of the best locker rooms I've ever been in my life. And every time I'm there, every week, it's always very, very supportive, and everyone's genuinely happy for each other. For whatever we do, we're very happy for each other. But yes, I'm ready. Long-winded, but
that just seems so like direct and like addressing exactly what Lufisto said and shit. And like the rumors, like she just had that in her back pocket and needed to say that. I don't know. I felt like that was funny. And then we have Tony Khan. Now, well, I'm not sure exactly where it is. I don't have a timestamp, pardon me, but he basically announces he's going to do an Inoki show in honor of Inoki called WrestleDream. And it will probably be, he'll probably hold them in Japan and cross promote it with New Japan, or if they're held in America, then great. It'll be great. So is it just Forbidden Door? Is it just their wrestlers October 1st? Where is it being held in Japan?
Yeah, I thought Ohio.
Oh, right? See, so that's what I mean. Like, what WrestleDream? What? So it's just going to be Forbidden Door, but not Forbidden Door. I don't really get.
No, like, it's for Inoki. Oh no, Inoki's the greatest streamer of all time.
Join Warner Brothers with ROH.
Inoki is one of the goats, but so he gets asked about women's wrestling, and I've never seen someone just psychobabble and fucking dip and dodge a question ever as hard as this. Watch this.
Good. Well, thank you. My pleasure. Great stuff. And I will do one more, and this is the last one because the great PR team wants me to go so they can go to the after party.
Awesome. Lyric Swinton, Women's Wrestling Talk. Congratulations on an awesome show tonight. One of the things that was noticeable from the All-In card that was missing was there was only one women's match. Obviously, the four-way was a callback to the original All-In. Yes. But there were some stars that were noticeably missing, like Athena, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander. Can we expect more women's matches to be on the All Out card and on future pay-per-view cards going forward?
Well, we've announced Ruby versus Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship. We'll have to see what kind of conditions Saraya is in coming out of this match. It's a great question. A lot of the card tonight was both featuring as many of the top stars in AEW as I could get. So a lot of the biggest stars in the company were not on this show, and that's why we have big matches like Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs and obviously Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander next week. I think the pacing of the show tonight was probably the best we've ever had, the best show we've ever done. So to add more, I think would have been challenging, but also we have so many great stars across both the men's and women's division, great wrestlers. I think the card in many ways was, I tried to pace it perfectly, and I think we did pretty great. One thing
I think we did pretty great.
You said it yourself. A lot of the card was paying homage to the original All-In. The four-way match, Dr. Britt Baker participated on the original All-In, and that was the key women's match on the original show.
Okay, Tony.
Madison Rain pointed that out in her commentary as well.
Oh, great. Oh, that's great.
Shout out to Madison Rain.
Dr. Britt Baker participated. I had the Golden Elite in a trios match.
What?
Kind of a callback to the original All-In, and definitely there were a lot of top stars, men and women. I was hoping to get on tonight's card, and there were a lot of people that wanted to be on the show, and I hope
so that's
all the top stars in, but also I want to pace the shows and be able to have great matches without having to rush through. So I was really excited about the card and also very happy for Saraya. I thought it was a great moment. And I would love to try and get some of those top stars in All Out and also next year's All In. I think you mentioned some great names, and those would be great names for the show.
They'll be great.
So that's a great question. Thank you.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
It's a great question. Thank you. It'll be great. Yeah, it's a great question. And then he starts like selling her on a match we already saw, and then talking about the Golden Elite and just dipping and ducking. What the fuck? This guy just knows how to fucking double talk out his ass. And no one fucking shits on him for this. And this is why it's funny to goof on him. And like, we love you, Tony. I love you, Tony. Because that was great too. I like that you just, because it's like, because the women aren't top stars. He did say it without saying it at the start. But like, especially the women in AEW, there's no like, I love you all. You're all great workers for the most part. And I agree. Athena, Jade Cargill, like they should be on the show. Why weren't they? Why was there a stupid, dumb four-way? Why wasn't there another four-way? The winner gets the shot of whoever wins the fucking singles between Storm and with Ruby Soho in the fucking guest referee versus Saraya tonight or whatever. They could have did a myriad of things. They could have had a women's battle royal, any fucking thing. They didn't have to have MJF and Adam Cole on the show. MJF and Adam Cole could have been. They could have won the ROH titles on TV so that people went, oh shit, they actually are tag champs together going into it. There's so many other things they could have did on this show. They could have had the Coffin match on All Out, or like maybe the other way. They could have did the Stadium Stampede at All Out, or get one of those Jungle Boys bullshit could have been on All Out instead of All In. Then you could have saved time right there for another women's match. To her point, but I'm not saying, but to his point, yeah, he's like, I need all the stars I can get on there. But then, like, why would you have MJF and Adam Cole on twice? Hairline, what was your thoughts on Tony Khan's ramblings there, and your thoughts on this press conference?
That was great.
Yeah,
it was great. He really dodged that question. I don't know. He should have just said the women don't, like, I needed stars, and the women aren't stars. He should have said that nicely. You know.
Damn.
Are you really that upset you didn't get a Statlander match?
No, I'm not. But of course, I'm not. But of course, that woman reporter has to ask the question on behalf of the women, and thank you for
but programmed.
Right. But okay, but shout her out for being like actually asking that question, because it is true. It's like WWE gets so much shit, bro. They feature the women in main events all the time, like literally all the fucking time. So
yeah, for sure.
So everyone wants to go, AEW, blah, blah, blah. Where are the neckbeards attacking this? Now, I'm not for people attacking everything. I like that Tony shut this down, because even he's trying to cater to it by making this match a 4-way. That's him trying to cater to y'all. Oh, that's a callback to the first All In. No, it's not. Why'd you only put 4 women in a match on All In the first time? Because you could only have one women's match. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, unless you have a Charlotte, a Becky, or whatever. They had that opportunity with Britt Baker. I feel like they squandered it a bit. And part of building a star, when you want to build homegrown talent, isn't just putting them on Dynamite every week. It's making those towns, shaking those hands, kissing those babies, signing those autographs, being out there and butt fuck nowhere when it's fucking Duluth. Just kidding. Shout out Duluth. I keep bringing it up. But just being in the middle of nowhere.
Like the third time.
And just like, you know, making the rounds, right? That is also how you build these stars and these fan bases, right? And that's where AEW, man, they don't do enough of that. But overall, Tony Khan kind of won me over, because he's just an ultimate worker. He's trying to work, but he can't like even keep a straight face himself. And he's just geeked to be there. And there's no other time, even though, because we were joking, we're like, is this the beginning of the end for AEW? But here's the thing. This is the beginning of the beginning. If they pop a huge rating after this, great for them. If they don't, I mean, it wouldn't shock me either. But Tony did talk about, he's like, dude, I feel like we had our momentum taken away from the brawl out, which they did. Like the way their viewership was trending, if the pandemic didn't happen and they'd have gotten to New Jersey and did that first Blood and Guts on TV, that would have that would have done huge numbers.
What happened to your boy Goldberg, dog?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess he did. I didn't. That's what I was talking about too. AEW doesn't, that's why I appreciate Tony too. He's like, no, I want to give my guys their moment. That's what you can tell this really is. He wants his people to have their moments and the people that he's going to push. Because when Ospreay's deal's up in New Japan, he's clearly going to AEW. And shout out Ospreay for working clearly, as Don Callis pointed out in the press conference that we forgot to cover. Ospreay clearly is working a different style now too. Yes, he's doing his flippy shit, but it's all placed in certain spots. And he realized I got to throw elbows and do this other shit I can do good, because he was selling his ass off, and Jericho looked like $1 million. Overall, I actually did enjoy this event a lot, but it was definitely not even the best AEW pay-per-view. I don't know, man. Like SummerSlam was crunk compared to this too. I don't know, man. Overall, shout out fucking AEW for pulling this off, and fuck you, Marks, who are like, it's not 80,000. It was 81,035 paid. The man said it. I'll buy into it. Let's go. So before we wrap the show up entirely, more news has come out about, CM Punk and what happened backstage. We talked about it earlier. It's been broken down that Jack Perry was the aggravator towards CM Punk. And I listened to Jim Cornette, and actually he does talk to people backstage in AEW, and he had said, from what he has gathered, that fucking, Jack Perry bumped, and this is a lot of people have pretty much confirmed this, right? That Jack Perry bumped into Punk like through gorilla position, And Punk was like, "You have a problem." And then Jack Perry lunged at him, and Punk grabbed him by his neck and goozled him. Is basically what happened. He fucking grabbed him by his throat. Some people are saying like he put him in like a front headlock or like a guillotine or a rear naked choke and like choked him out, tapped him out. That could have happened as well. But either way, it basically like Jack Perry pushed Punk first, and then Punk threw him in a choke. Now, apparently the majority of the heat is on Jack Perry because of this, but also CM Punk and Jack Perry are both suspended. All Out's about to happen in Chicago. Hairline, would you have suspended CM Punk in this situation?
Did CM? Okay, my bad. I don't mean to answer your question with a question, but did CM Punk even have a match at this? We get a 1 week booking again, 1 week build again.
CM Punk will absolutely be in Chicago. Why would they not have him at Chicago, dude? That's foolish.
Oh God, well, yeah, that's fucking morons.
All Out's in Chicago, so why are they Why would they suspend him if Jack Perry attacked him? Like, is this the precedent, Tony Khan? If you guys get in a physical altercation, even if you did nothing wrong, you still get suspended. Is that the type of precedent?
That's fucking bullshit. I don't know what you just said there about fucking CM Punk not being in Chicago. That's fucking. Ugh,
and apparently,
that's outrageous.
CM Punk stormed into Tony Khan's office, gave him shit, ripped him apart.
Who told you this?
These are the reports that have been coming out. People close to CM Punk say that there was not much communication between he and Tony Khan after the incident with Jack Perry at All In. Punk went as far as telling people he hates this place as a result of the constant issues in AEW. Many people within the company say he's plenty responsible for those issues. That's Fightful. Many people within.
Dave.
I don't know, man. He's suspended. So also, what news that came out was Punk had travel issues. So he showed up at the airport. No one was there to greet him. AEW gave him a number to transportation or just someone to drive him, and it was a wrong number. It came back as a false number. So CM Punk, the biggest star in your company, man, shows up there and doesn't have a ride. So he goes, "Oh, I'm going to find my own way," buys a train ticket, hops on the train. People on the train are like, "Holy shit, it's CM Punk." So they help him find where he's going. That's fucking crazy. Is that not, Hairline?
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. Could
you imagine Cody Rhodes showing up and not having accommodations?
No, Vince would never do any of that, man.
So and now let me point this out, Hairline. Did you see the person who's responsible for AEW's travel?
No, I did not.
So the literal guy responsible for AEW's travel is like best friends with the Young Bucks, bro. And you can go on his Twitter page. I forget what it is. I could try and pull it up here, see it. His Twitter page
is the camera guy?
Bro, the guy who does the travel is literally one. No, it's not him. It's this other guy who is in his profile. It's like hashtag, or he's like sometimes standing Buck. The banner is him in the Bucks. His profile picture is him posing like the Bucks. And this is the guy who gave Punk a wrong number. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? And this is not fake news. This is real news. You can look this shit up, dude.
I've seen some of the pictures of CM. I've seen some of the pictures of CM Punk on the fucking on the train and whatnot. Did you see Rusev's tweet?
Okay, so Miro posted like this fake and untrue when it came to the Jungle Boy stuff, and then the stories came out that Miro and CM Punk actually got into a fight as well. And Brian Alvarez came out with this, and a bunch of people were running with it, and it was proved false. I guess Samoa Joe or someone along those lines verified that it is that was verifiably false, that Miro and Punk didn't get into a fight. But I'm pretty sure Brian Alvarez. So here, per Brian Alvarez, CM Punk and Miro nearly had an incident immediately after the Punk and Jack Perry incident backstage at AEW All In this past weekend. Miro asked what happened with Jack Perry, and Punk proceeded to ask him if he had a problem with him now and if he wanted to step outside. So they're trying to make Punk look worse because that did not happen.
Yeah, narratives.
Brian Alvarez are trying to go like, "Oh yeah, and he tried to fight fucking Miro, asked him to step outside."
Is this a Dave Meltzer guy?
Yeah, it's Brian Alvarez, bro. It's his cute little best friend.
How would I know any of that, though?
Yeah, man. So that's pretty messed up. Apparently, Punk did have heated words where he chewed out Tony Khan and was like, This is bullshit. Like, seriously, dude, you got to get a grip on this shit. It's
Fucking
ridiculous.
bullshit.
And apparently he just expressed
No,
he
it's
wants
great.
to quit this company. So Hairline, if you're CM Punk, if you're a Mark Fantasy Booker,
that's you.
It's turned into X-Files now. If it's me, I'm Punk. I quit. I buy my own contract out. I tell WWE to buy it out. I figure out how to get out of this shit, and I show up at the Royal Rumble, and I win the Royal Rumble. I put Roman over at Mania 40, or I get dumped out, or I get dumped out of the ring at the Rumble by Cody, and then I set up Punk versus Cody for Mania 40. Roman can fight The Rock and defend against him, and then Punk versus Cody, and Punk can cut all the promos. I smacked your friends out, whatever. That you I know why you left. You know why you left. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I'm still the real world champion of that company because no one pinned me for my shit. And I'm still the real world champion of this company because John Cena didn't pin me for my shit either. Yeah. And John Cena's coming back for a string of SmackDown. So, yeah, if I'm CM Punk, I lickety split, man. Honest to God, this is bullshit. Vince won't not pick you up. Vince won't. Everyone, again, I said it earlier, common denominator CM Punk, common denominator a bunch of fucking Southern Cali kids who think they can really fight, who can't, who are rich, who don't mix well with street kids or punk kids or straight edge like Punk and
the
shit.
Straight edge kids don't fuck around.
They don't fuck around with, especially these fucking kids who grew up rich from Cali, bruh. You know, okay, if Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar are gonna get in each other's faces, okay, you separate that, but that's two men who, yo, Jungle Boy, you're on a contract. Like, I know he doesn't value the contract or the position he's in because Tony Khan came along and just balled out on all these people. And this is where it becomes a problem. Yes, Tony, it's good.
Yeah, he did.
In a lot of instances, but it's also bad in a lot of instances like this, where it's like you made this monster where like this kid all of a sudden, like he's bland, he's stale. You gaslit him, told him he's a 4 fucking pillar. And now he's on this contract that he doesn't honestly deserve for the time he's put into this business. But he grew up as a rich kid in Hollywood, as his dad's fucking was Luke Perry, RIP. So Jack Perry's running around here like thinks he has anything to say to Punk. Who's going on with Joe? What if he jeopardized Joe's night? What if Punk got hurt and then he jeopardized Joe's night and Joe's payday and Joe's opportunity at Wembley? Because Jack Perry, no one's talking about this. And you have people like Samoa Joe,
that's a good point,
who doesn't bitch. Samoa Joe, there's stories of Samoa Joe. Guess what? He talks shit about Scott Hall, but it was approved by the company. He goes backstage, and Kevin Nash goes, "Was that you or was that the writers?" And Joe says, "That was me." Nash slapped the man. Joe stood up, and Nash said, "Joe ain't a bitch." He goes, "But I thought he was going to attack me, so I slapped him again." And he fucking just stared at me angrily and walked away. Like a man. Joe acted out of pocket, or maybe he didn't act out of pocket. Maybe Scott Hall acted out of pocket and Joe did his business. Nash was the vet, smacked him. And what is Joe going to do? Beat up old man Nash with no fucking knees, who paved the way for fucking Joe to even have a business to fucking work in? Listen to me.
Yeah.
For real. You have to understand your place.
Hey, Joseph.
And if you're going to bump fucking Punk, you're going to take a smack for it. You're going to, especially when you've been to New Japan or the Indies or when you've done those things, and Punk wrestled The Undertaker at Mania, and even The Undertaker was vouching for Punk to beat his streak, to be the one to end his streak. There's stories of that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. According to Punk and Taker, Taker was down for Punk to be the one to end it. You know? You got to understand this shit. He's done that. He's done the things you guys have fucking had wet dreams about. And that's not a knock, you know, because Terry Funk did things that little Punker had wet dreams about. But look at how he reacted when Funker came and told him something. Look at how he reacted when Dusty came and told him something. Punk was you. He was that ROH guy doing the spots, doing the this, doing the that. Fuck you, putting the middle finger up to the establishment. I'm the shit. They all were, man. But at the end of the day, you come to a crossroads where you got to do what's best for business. Jack Perry isn't what's best for business. So if Tony Khan has half a mind, you suspend Jack Perry. You tell your locker room, if you instigate a fight, you go the fuck home or you're fired. It's that simple. You don't like my top stars? Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Hey, top stars, you don't like each other? talk about it in the back, but if you instigate some shit, you go home or you're fired. It's that fucking simple. You choose. You know, he has enough guys on the roster to make it work without certain people. So all I'm saying is, like, if I'm Punk, I get the fuck out of there, or I don't know. I would just get out. It's too late now. It's just like, you know, it seems like Cody was about to start slapping some motherfuckers too. Cody and Joe are just ultra professionals. They're like, look, before I slap someone, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here for a bit. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, do you think Joe's staying there? Joe's going back to the dub too, bro. Just kidding. I'm not gonna be an E-drone, but he's going back. He's going back to WWE too. Like, all these guys are.
Okay, first off, I think the travel shit's just a fucking joke. That's horrendous, bro. What do you mean you don't have shit prepared for the top talent in the company? I don't know, man. That's just bad karma too. I don't mean to be like that, but like, it's just like
bad juju
and childish.
Yeah.
You know what you said in a nutshell here. Fucking CM Punk, WWE confirmed. Yeah.
This is who booked his shit, man. His profile picture, stand-in Buck. In his bio and his profile pictures, him posing with the Bucks. He works for AEW as the talent coordinator. Punk didn't get a ride in the biggest show ever in history. Like, come on, man. This is like real grade school. Even Mox said it, and he still does this shit because he's allowed to do whatever he wants. And even he said it's like a high school.
Mox is pretty cool.
Monitors were knocked down onto Tony Khan. Samoa Joe was furious and had to convince CM Punk to go to the ring at AEW All In. God damn it, man. So
I believe it.
What happened? Jack Perry starts a fight where monitors get knocked down on the billionaire fucking CEO, and Samoa Joe is mad. He almost fucked his night up, and he had to go and tell his boy Punk, let's just go out there and do that. I'll leave with you, brother. Punk, I'm going when you're going, brother. Let's just go get this done, brother. You know, like, come on. Like, for real, though, like, he had to go and convince Punk, come on, man, just go with it's me, bro. You know, please, I'm your boy.
Yeah, your boy.
Come on, like, oh man, that's pathetic. So Jack Perry, like, what if Punk broke his leg? What if billionaire fucking Tony Khan sprained his fucking neck? You know, we don't know, dude. And then Samoa Joe, you almost ruined Samoa Joseph's night. What would Joe have done to Jack Perry if he ruined his night? You'd have fucking stretched him 6 ways from Sunday, dude. It wouldn't have been funny. It'd have been fucking Sweet Tooth in real life. They should take the Collision crew, put them on Wednesday, and take all the Elite and the Dynamite guys and put them on.
Get rid of them.
Yeah. Hairline's like, just fucking chuck them.
We can keep Kenny Omega.
Your last thoughts, Hairline, on the show, on what is All in Wembley.
This was the worst PWT episode we've ever done.
Oh man. Okay, guys, and with that, we're gonna get out of here and check us out on Patreon if you'd like bonus content. We do watch along shit. We react to Botchamanias. We react to Grapple Vision videos. Just whoever's making good content, we'll watch your shit. We're currently reviewing every pay-per-view ever. We got Inoki versus Ali getting uploaded right away, where we review that whole entire 17-round bout.
Long, man.
Inoki and Ali was a great match. Shoot, work, shoot,
You're
brother.
So geek.
Check that out. We also do Botchamanias, all that sort of shit, guys. And check us out on YouTube, Pro WrestleTimes, for our long form stuff. That channel's at like 100 and some, and I just figured out how to feature. Like, I just figured out how to like sister our channels, so now they're like connected now. I didn't know how to do that till now, guys. I'm a noob, but check us out at Pro Wrestle Clips, where most of you are. And yeah, we're almost at 600 or 600. I don't know. We want 1,000 by Christmas. You guys make it happen. If you guys want to support us, like or hit subscribe. If you want to talk shit, hit our Discord. Post your stuff there. Get to know each other better. Exclusive shits on Patreon. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. We're at ProWrestleTimes everywhere on social media, at PWT Podcast, where we have millions now of views on TikTok. And Hairline.
This was an atrocious episode. I would hate to be one of the WWE PWT fans.
They love it. I think the listeners love it. I think they thought one of us was going to freak out at some. I don't know. This is great. It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. PWT. Guys, the biggest wrestling show in pro wrestling history just happened, and I ain't talking about All in London. I'm talking about PWT episode 20, whatever the fuck this is. Top Pod out.